Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Where there's smoke, there's flavor, and there's plenty of that at the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market. Award-winning Old World recipes made in Lincoln since 1984 with many flavors and smoked sausage and brats to choose from. The Smokehouse has something special for every season. Brats and sausage for the grill, beef sticks and beef jerky for snacking, and smoked salmon, smoked turkey, and smoked hams for your holiday feast. Stop by the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market today to fulfill your search for real flavor.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Here's your updated 93.7 The Ticket forecast, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. Highs level off around 87 today, under mainly cloudy skies, southwesterly winds around 5 miles per hour. Slight chance of thunderstorms tonight, lows dip down to about 67, partly cloudy skies. 85 tomorrow, mainly clear. That's your updated forecast on Lincoln's home for the Kansas City Royals, 93.7 The Ticket. I'm meteorologist Kara Foster. Currently 67.
Some moments deserve more than ordinary jewelry. At Sartor Heyman, we've helped Lincoln celebrate life's biggest occasions for over 120 years. With quality craftsmanship, timeless gifts, and diamonds you can see from across the room. From our exclusive Heartland collection to custom design pieces, every detail is made with care by experienced jewelers you can trust. Whether you're celebrating love, family, milestones, Sartor Heyman has a gift for every occasion in life.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
When the lights go out, every minute matters. Powerline helps LES respond to outages faster by linking your phone number to your service address. Get ready before the next outage at les.com/powerline.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-fast fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
In every city, every town, there's a Husker fan. You show up, you stand out, no matter where the road takes you. And wherever Husker Nation goes, life doesn't slow down. That's why Emeritus makes dental and vision coverage simple. Quick quotes, affordable options, and nationwide access for fans everywhere. Choose the coverage that fits your journey. Emeritus, fulfilling life, fueled by Husker pride. Go to emeritus.com/Husker Dental for more information.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black Shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour one of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Away we go on a Tuesday edition of Old School. Thanks to everyone who dialed up the show. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Talk to myself, or more likely, the Husker Hall of Famer, Minnesota's very own, as Eric introduced him on the text line, Jay, Mr. Minnesota Foreman. Hope you're doing well. That's from your best friend, Eric.
Doing all right, man. Early morning, man. Take care of your health. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you got good doctors out there.
You're kind of an early morning guy, so this was even early by your standards.
Yeah, I know. But I can see why. What was that movie? Was it Denzel went in there and took the hospital over?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You getting some ideas, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, man. Hey, look, man, it's a Tuesday. It's a day for these college kids. It's like, oh, we had the first day, then they got another day of new classes. So this whole week for them is just like introductory. This is probably the funnest week.
Oh, syllabus week.
Yeah, this is a great.
Oh,
yeah, this is
Oh,
a great. You might. I got a little quick assignment. A little shot over the bow to see if you can turn it in on time. A little quiz. A little quiz. But yeah, a lot going on, like always. Right in camp every day that we get on I guess the radio, new stuff happens, man. The one thing about sports, man, it's literally it's a reality show.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, I was thinking, man, I'm a pretty private person, but I'd contemplated, or not contemplated. I just was laughing if I had a day in the life of a reality show.
It would be a lot of the camera looking at a closed door when you're scrolling on your
Yeah,
phone.
but there's been times, man, that I had a little dust up at the bank one time.
A little dust up at the bank one
Dust up
time?
at the bank one time. Had dust up at the golf course one time. Just got a different dynamic in the house, and then obviously traveling. I got my kids were dealing with that. It would be a little interesting. And then,
Well, see, this is how this stuff starts. Is that you're a private person, you're a chill guy.
Yeah,
You'd have to start some stuff for the camera.
Oh, well, I don't start it. I'll end it.
I know that's what you say, but
I got a list. I know the first place I'm going. I'm gonna see him too. That's the only problem. It's probably just premeditated. I already know I'm gonna get in trouble, man. So I will apologize.
No, didn't you burn that list last week?
Yeah, I did, man. I did. I went to church Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I said
you're all better now.
I gave
better
everybody,
headspace.
It's forgiveness, right?
Indeed,
right?
Yeah.
Forgiveness. There's no point with revenge because that just makes them, you lose twice or what's the saying?
Yep.
But then after, when Monday started, I said, man, nothing a headbutt wouldn't cure.
Right? You'll be fine. You'll make life better for everybody.
Yeah, man. I'll be looking at dudes like, man, you lucky I just don't headbutt the hell out of you right now.
Well, your prime headbutt target is no longer here.
Big Head Nick?
Yep. I was talking with him yesterday.
He owed me some money too. Nick, I hope you listen. I want my Quan. You know what? I was watching Scarface this morning, and
after watching John Q, the Denzel Hospital movie.
I was living John Q. So I was with Scarface. I said, I'm gonna start charging some points.
There we go.
Back there, Low Mafia. We bringing the Black Mafia to Lincoln.
What's
one member?
Say what's it?
One member and the board member as well.
Judge, jury, and executioner, CEO, COO, CFO.
Yeah. Anything and everything.
More likely to go John Q or John Wick first?
John Wick's a bad boy, though, man.
Oh, yeah.
I never really liked the movies, and I watched them. I was like, I see why people.
From Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures to John Wick. Wonder what would happen.
You got to be versatile.
Right?
Yeah, you got to be versatile. You got, you like when you have your acting book, you got to do everything, There's also interest in, for actors, and actresses that throughout, you hear some of them throughout, when they get interviewed throughout their career, the roles that they turn down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting how they get the roles. And so Lawrence Fishburne, I don't know if you ever watched.
Oh, we are driving the wrong way down 11th Street. That is a one way, and there's a car going.
Well, he's not an 18-wheeler, but that's a big bed.
He's selling construction equipment.
Yeah. It was.
He's still going the wrong way.
Make your own way.
I guess.
When they say the path to success is hard. He's testing it out today. How bad do you want to go down this street?
I know that. Okay, I think he just turned right too. He just turned right. I thought he was going to the lead center. Yeah. That's a straight shot to where some of the construction. But no, he turned right.
He didn't want to go down there and deal with that construction. I'm just going this way. Nobody's coming.
I wonder why nobody's coming.
There. Don't worry. I'll get this big batted truck going.
Anyways, sorry, back to what you were saying.
But Lawrence Fishburne, who's a really good actor, was in The King of New York. It's an old school, like kind of gangster movie or whatever. And
was he a one-man black mafia in that one too?
No, he actually played an Italian guy. It's based on like somewhat softly a true story. Whoa. So what he was cast as a like, of course, like a normal kind of gangster, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the role that he kind of fell in love with was this Italian. He was kind of like the go-between between, I guess they like the, black and the Italians, like the drug dealer was. So he was the kind of the go-between. And he was pretty much like a hired hitman or whatever, but he fell in love with the role. So he just showed up one day in character. Like, so he got cast for one role.
Uh-huh.
So he already had that set. So he's like, I'm going to show you actually how you do it. And obviously he said that's the turning point of his career.
Man.
So he made them change the whole script.
Give him a new part.
Yeah. So it's just like in football, it's like everything goes back to sports. If you want a position, or if you want to make a name for yourself, you got to change the script. You got to make them change their script and change their idea of what they want to do.
Lane says with Christopher Walken in it. That's a great movie.
Christopher Walken is a dude.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Lane, do you remember when he got out of jail? And he had he had the best dance ever. He had these spaghetti legs. And the only reason it was funny, I was down in Charleston, South Carolina one time, and they had like a groove in the park, And Charleston's kind of weird because they got a lot of cemeteries. It's kind of like has a New Orleans feel and all that. So
it's such an old city.
Yeah. Yeah. And oddly enough, that it was like one of the biggest slave trade places, make a lot of money off of that.
Yeah.
So just walk in. And so I was like, let me just watch this, groove in the park. And this dude was out there dancing like Christopher Walken. So yeah, but that is a great movie. He had that quote though about the lion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Christopher Walken's a bad dude. He was a man on fire too.
He was.
Yeah.
Fred Note Hoiberg says, I'm surprised you guys haven't brought up HBO's Lanterns that takes place in Nebraska. Is laced with Husker football talk.
I haven't. You know what? I'm gonna watch it.
Okay,
Have you watched it?
I have not. I've seen the commercials for it. So the main character, the Green Lantern guy, is played by what's his name? Kyle Chandler, who's the head coach from the Friday Night Lights.
I did see that come across my feed,
and I saw it I saw just the screen pulls on Twitter.
It looked pretty good.
Talking about Gordon Rushville or something, and I think someone said, this is great, except it's wrong because the stadium's in Rushville, not Gordon or something like that. But I did not realize it mostly took place in Nebraska, at least early on.
What's the most famous movie shot or based in Nebraska?
Didn't Alexander Payne have that movie called Nebraska?
But was it a big one? Did it end up being a?
I think that's got to be the biggest, right?
Because you just never know where movies are filmed. Because Rocky IV was filmed in Milwaukee. All those scenes that you thought he was in Russia, it was in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee,
of all places.
What's the difference?
Yeah, and you timed up the winter.
Which of these 10 movies did you know were partially filmed in Nebraska? Let's see. Just gonna kind of scrub through this. We have Election.
Lane's our movie buff.
Yes, Man.
He said Jack Nicholson had a movie filmed around 2000, year 2000.
I mean, okay.
Lane, if you're listening, have you seen the movie Heat?
Downsizing?
None. Terms of Endearment, and Lane has seen Heat.
Oh, Terms of Endearment. Okay.
Yeah, Lane's a dude. Lane is number one on the Lane and Eric are number one.
Oh, co-number ones? Co-starters?
Yeah.
We have Orr?
Yeah. He's there with Val Kilmer. You ever watch Heat?
Oh, yeah.
Al Pacino?
Oh, yeah. Jim Carrey went to a Nebraska game in a movie. What movie did Jim Carrey go to a Nebraska game in? Did not know that. Interesting. Well, speaking of going to Nebraska games, here's a transition. Graham Tire can get you there. First and foremost, we want to thank them for being the title sponsor of Old School. They're celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. They do all kinds of car and light truck repairs. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire getting you to the places that matter most. Again, keep the conversation rolling. Starter Heyman Jewelers text line 402-464-1390. 5685. The movie is Yes Man, where Jim Carrey goes to a Nebraska game. Jay, we've heard a lot from Troy Dannon about NIL.
Yeah.
He had an interview with Tom Chattel. Good piece that Tom wrote. And Troy, the title is "An NIL Arms Race. Troy Dannon won't apologize for revenue push. Time to turn it up." Then Troy Dannon, after that, I believe, went on the radio on the Husker Sports Network and was, thankful to the fans, to season ticket holders, and to donors and whatnot. Here's just a quote from Dannon. "But for every FNBO, First National Bank of Omaha, there are places that have walked backwards from it. The fact of the matter is everybody has to invest. If you say it takes a village to raise a child, well, it takes a village to build a championship football program. As part of that, I think our ticket holders have stepped up to the plate. Our donors have certainly stepped up to the plate." Not pointing fingers. It's going to sound like I'm pointing fingers, but the corporate community needs to step up. The institution itself. We've talked a lot about, fans getting squeezed. Donate to NIL this, pay more for season tickets, that. Reseeding over here, reseeding over there, yada, yada. I don't love Troy Dannon pushing for money, especially after, I think it was just last week. Yeah, it was last week. We got an email on Friday from the athletic department with this title: "Nebraska Athletics sets fundraising and licensing records in 2025-26. Think about that. And some of the stats here: fiscal year 26, Huskers Athletic Fund set a record of $71.6 million in total cash gifts from over 16,000 donors, almost 17,000 donors. Second straight year, over $70 million in annual cash giving. And just the growth of this has been pretty steady, I would say. They gave the numbers back the last 5 years: 64 million, down to 61, down to 57, actually, in 23-24. Then you get a 14.5-ish million dollar jump from 57.7 to 71.2. And then you add another 300 grand, 350 grand ish on top of that to 71.6, essentially. So you've gained an extra $14.5 million in over 3 years, essentially. And I appreciate Troy Dannon saying, yeah, you know what? We're not going to get on our season ticket holders. We're not going to get on the average fan for this. We're going to get on the big businesses for not coming alongside. That's a whole different world, than the fan conversation we spent a lot of our NIL time on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough subject to I guess the approach right now, just in general, just the way, the world is, it's not even politics. Just to get a loan for a house is, the rates are up, and all that type of stuff. And, the ability to borrow and all that. And sure, for, him and his position, he's looking at it like, all right, we have to stay competitive, financially, just because of the way that is, the world is working, or the way that football is going, or the world is going. Financially, football wise, or athletic department, but obviously everybody kind of, it's football season, so it kind of comes along with the territory. And look, you can have two rights and two wrongs, in theory. Yeah, sure, you got to keep pushing the envelope and asking everybody to continue to donate and support the football team. And then everybody on the flip side, it'll be like, well, you got to give us something on a consistent basis to support. And then also you got to look at, financially, just like where people are at. It's great and everything, but you got to make sure people got to take care of their families and all that. And a big part of that is, the ability to go to games at a reasonable price. Then if you are a ticket holder, which some of those people are, that are getting moved, they were corporate people. Even though they might not have bought their tickets under a corporation, they still, work, and they maybe have businesses or whatever. So, he's in a tricky spot because he has to continue to raise money. It's not, where Nebraska, when Trev was here, they had a big pot of reserves. He said it himself. And so as the world of sports, not just football or NIL and rev sharing, has changed, the dynamics on how you go about it on a year-to-year basis. And so everybody is right in their vision and their point. It's just, you got to find a happy medium.
The other interesting,
because I think, like, if you overextend yourself one way and things don't go your way, I wouldn't say it could be catastrophic, but it could take a little while to come back. Right. And so we've seen those dips. I think that was the end of Frost right there, right? I think.
23, 24. Yeah, it would have been like year one of Matt Rule.
Yeah, but generally it's the end of Frost.
Right.
That's where you're
Yeah,
going to
the
get
carryover.
carryover.
Yeah.
So, you have to make sure that the product is good and stuff like that. And it's, Nebraska, the one thing I will say that Nebraska's advantage is, and I could just, in every sport really, because we saw the explosion of baseball, softball as well. I'm just, I know they're getting everybody's getting an upgrade facility wise, or just, maybe just getting up to date or whatever you want to call it. It's, you come here, the dollars that you're making, and granted, everybody likes the hard cash, but what you're getting outside of your regular dollars is worth as much or more as like, $1.50. And so those are the things that people on the outside looking in are seeing. Those are the things that people are evaluating how much they're giving and not giving. But then also, as you are selling your program to athletes, that's also it's actually realistic and factual. So, he's in a hard spot. We haven't played any games. People haven't even went and saw the product yet. And then, so it's kind of, I guess timing is everything, but realistically, he's always got to push the envelope. Look, they've decided to put 600 or so million in. If it's like building a house, if they tell you it's 100,000, and it'll be under 150. So if you're looking at 600-700 million for the stadium, that's a lot of money.
That's 850.
Now I don't know where all that money's coming from.
At least some of it was already privately raised.
Right, right.
That.
So you got some, but it's going to come from donors again, same ones and corporations that you're talking about. So you got to kind of pick your poison. So
speaking of the stadium, later down in that article that Tom wrote. Another quote from Dannon: "We are not flirting with the top of the league when it comes to our player support, whether NIL or rev share or cumulative dollars. Part of our challenge right now is to put us in the same position at the top of the league as we are with facilities and infrastructure and other investments." We've gone back and forth on the stadium. Was it time? Was it overdue? Should more of that money have gone to players? Yada, yada. But that quote from Dannon: "Part of our challenge right now is to put us in the same position at the top of the league as we are with facilities and infrastructure and other investments," comes from a report that came out in July from NIL Standard that estimated the amount of money that different programs are paying players. They ranked the top 25 and then went on after that later. Texas, number one, $49.3 million. Oregon, number two, $43 million. LSU, $43 million, so on and so forth. Nebraska, outside the top 25 at $23.7 million, ninth in the Big Ten. That would seem to line up with what Troy Dannon's saying. He'd also would say that, yeah, I've seen 10 things that are inaccurate in 10 different ways. Don't believe everything you read. But what he did confirm is that Nebraska is not at the top of the food chain when it comes to NIL rev share investment in its football roster. You get what you pay for. Right now, Nebraska is in the middle of the Big Ten because it's paying to be in the middle of the Big Ten. I'm not saying Nebraska is doing poorly in that. Maybe Nebraska is doing the best it can. I don't know. But numbers are numbers.
Yeah, but that's I don't really. I mean, sure that in theory, that's right. But okay, so who's two below and two above Nebraska?
Let's see, in the Big Ten, it is.
And this is just football.
Yes, just football. The two ahead of Nebraska are Penn State at 26.6, UCLA at 24. The two right behind are Washington at 23.8 and Michigan State at 21.8. Numbers from the NIL Standard.
And that's just this year.
That is for this coming year.
Okay, this coming year. So realistically, there's only two teams that you can actually evaluate that on. You really can't Penn State, right? So Penn State paid more than Nebraska.
Yes.
So
by about $2.5 million.
So they paid more than Nebraska, but they had more the year before because they had all those NFL players, right? So they had more, and they had Drew Aller and all them. So they paid more and got less.
Yeah.
So now they're right on par where they're really middle of the road or one step above middle of the road. Right?
Nationally, I finally got the data to load. The two ahead of Nebraska are UCLA and Florida State. The two behind Nebraska are Washington and South Carolina.
And then Washington has been playing less than Nebraska. Okay, right? But have gotten more.
Yeah.
As far as on the field production. So then I would argue it's just mainly just you got to really evaluate and invest your money correctly.
Oh, for sure. That's always been what it is.
Right. Because Clemson last year, going into the season, had to spend at way more than they ever had because they had a ton of NFL talent. And look at their season.
Clemson at 26-3 last year.
Right.
Or for this coming year. So
right. So,
ballpark,
but they were even more last year because they had a couple first-round picks, and Cade Klubnik was potentially, have egg on my face that he could have went number one, and they could have possibly went undefeated, and they didn't even get through the first game undefeated. So, yeah, you got to spend, but I think you got to spend accordingly. I mean, I've said this, just because the going rate is X for a left tackle, if he is not worth it, you don't pay it. You pay him. You offer and pay him what he should, because if he's good enough, he will get paid. It's no different than, I feel, this is just my opinion, how you evaluate guys, how you have to understand what makes them tick. You have to understand where you are as a program, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because there's a difference between, let's say, I'll call it ascending 4-star. Okay, say he's a late bloomer.
Mm-hmm.
Say he actually is a good player, and he does have all the measurables. He's, say he's a lineman, 6'6" or whatever, and he's ascending, right? You need to say he's from the right area. So that's a ascending 4-star, right? Versus the guy that has all the measurables, doesn't have the mindset, and won't bust a grape, but he's a 4-star. That's a paper 4-star.
Yeah.
Versus a 3-star that is the same. Say he's 6'5". Say coming out of high school, he's only 265, but he's a nut cutter, a straight savage, but he's 20 pounds too light. But he plays basketball. He might wrestle, or he might be at a place where he doesn't get 3 square meals a day and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You never know, right? Or he's just, and say he's a senior, but he's just still 17 years old, so he's not of age, right? But he's a 3-star.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you get more bang for your buck. It's not only what they look like, it's what they're going to be and project, and then you have to have a detailed plan for them to hit. The investment in these players is only worth it if they become viable.
Yeah.
It's not viable or worth it paying them for something they haven't done. You have to, but you have to be realistic. But if we look, this is college. We just seen this with Deshaun Watson. There ain't no way this dude should be starting, but you're paying him. So these guys that you're like overextending yourself sometimes, you got to play them, but you better be dang good.
Yeah.
And that's where you're at. And so UCLA and even like Penn State, there's going to be an uptick because you got a new coach. We've seen it with Kirk Cignetti and all that other stuff. It'll go down if they don't win, because that's a big stretch for UCLA.
A couple texts to get to, and then we'll go to break. Appreciate Dale chiming in. Scott in Minnesota. Indiana has cash flowing now, but where were they when Cignetti arrived? Not there. That's the point. Win. And Troy Dannon said a lot of the stuff Nebraska's doing probably should have been done earlier, but they're just getting around to it. Sounded like Troy Dannon was saying Nebraska maybe rested on its laurels a little bit, was able to get by with what it was doing financially.
We weren't getting by doing anything. We were losing.
Well, I'm saying like for 25 years is what he's saying. He is not saying just since he got there, not just Trev, not just Bill Moose.
Yeah.
He's saying 25 years ago, the infrastructure should have been built out differently.
No, well, college football is different. There's no way you could build the infrastructure. But I will tell you, the mistakes we made from long ago are still like rearing their ugly head at this point, or up until people actively trying to come in and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that.
6732. I just hope the money is used wisely. Starkey and Ben, appreciate you chiming in, and Lane as well. Why is Dan talking about this 11 days before the start of the season? Because, Lane, that is when the numbers were released and really put out to the world. So that's why it was timely, it's appropriate, and we could spend plenty more time on this. We're not going to. We're going to talk some actual on-the-field football before we get back into the court system and everything going on down in Louisiana yet again. Shocker.
Hey, that woman's basketball coach is diabolical.
Always has been, always will be. But you can say the same about the men's basketball coach and the head football coach as well. So plenty of chatter from LSU, but how the conferences are responding to what's going on at LSU, that'll be in hour 2 of the show. A lot going on in the world of golf randomly as well. So we have lots of that to talk about coming up in hour 3. But when we get back, we'll talk some Nebraska football quarterbacks. Anthony Calandria's legs. How important are they to Nebraska's season? We'll get to that as we continue Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good work, good people, good community. That's what Schweitzer Construction is built on. For over 40 years, we've been constructing commercial spaces across Lincoln and showing up for the community long after the last brick is laid. We're growing our team, and we're looking for hardworking people who want to be part of something that they're proud of. Come build with us at schwizow.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Here's your updated 93.7 The Ticket forecast, sponsored by Bryant Air Conditioning, Electrical, Heating, and Plumbing. Slight chance of rain showers today, otherwise sunshine mixed with clouds at times. High temperatures reach up to 87. Southwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, slight chance of thunderstorms, lows level off around 67. That's your updated forecast on Lincoln's home for the Kansas City Royals. 93.7 The Ticket. I'm meteorologist Kara Foster. Right now, 68.
Where there's smoke, there's flavor, and there's plenty of that at the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market. Award-winning, old world recipes made in Lincoln since 1984 with many flavors and smoked sausage and brats to choose from. The Smokehouse has something special for every season: brats and sausage for the grill, beef sticks and beef jerky for snacking, and smoked salmon, smoked turkey, and smoked hams for your holiday feast. Stop by the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market today to fulfill your search for real flavor.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-fast fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they're committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perchmerch.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're in hour one of Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire Company. Hour one of the show, as always, sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. If you're watching on our streams, you can see their contact information down below. But if you're just on the radio or the app, we love and appreciate you as well. We'll tell you that the Heartland of Nebraska Windows is based out of Hallam, Nebraska, offering free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more info at 402-430-3852. You can also visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Jay, before we talk quarterbacks and Anthony Calandre, we get this from Eli in Fallbrook. What is one position you feel confident in but is 1 or 2 critical injuries away from being a serious concern. For example, I would say the offensive line, Brendan Black and one more gets hurt, and the room looks a lot different.
I mean, I would agree there, but I think they have enough versatility that it wouldn't be catastrophic. I think they have enough depth there that they could, plug and play some guys. I mean, Jeep has talked about guys that normally hadn't been talked about in their progress in particularly at that position. Obviously, I think they said that they, Gunnar Gattuso is one of their top 5 right now. I don't know if that's to inspire tree or whatever it is, but you got 3 viable tackles, obviously, so you feel comfortable there. I know Sledge and Peters play center, so I think the depth there would allow, if something. I mean, ideally, you don't want anything like that to happen, but I think they have a good depth of guys there that can play multiple positions and go out there and execute.
From the offseason conversation, it sounds like it would be the tight end room, but I'm not sure how big.
I would say the tight end. Yeah.
But how big a part of the offense are they? So you might notice a drop off, but I have to see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
running back. I think it's hairy really quick.
Yeah, just because of lack of experience and lack of known. Mm-hmm. And those are the 2 probably most competitive. And like I said, they have the crosshairs on those 2 position groups. And it's drastically different. You know who the starter is at tight end, but you're waiting for the emergence of Nelson. Where does Bonner fit in there? What about Sorensen? And then Ingerson, obviously the inline blocker. So it would change the dynamics if so the 2 tight ends are Lindemeyer and Ingerson, right? Those are the 2, like your run tight blocking end guy and your move tight end and multifaceted tight end and Lindemeyer. Okay, if the emergence of Nelson, Bonner, Sorensen doesn't come to life, then it would be a problem if something happened.
Yeah.
And in the running back room, if it stays as it is and say somebody, I don't know, strains a hammy or something or whatever it is, then you go from 3 to 2, and then neither one of the 2 really take a hold of it. And you'd like to see if they're down to 2, one of them is like, all right, this is my time, and they start to ride that horse a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think that Nebraska's actually pretty well situated to withstand a quarterback injury this year, maybe better than they have been in years past, just in terms of continuity, style of play between Anthony Calandra and presumptive number 2, TJ Lateef, even Daniel Kalen. We've talked about at times. Seems like Nebraska could withstand something going wrong at the quarterback position. But Jay, I do want to talk about Anthony Calandria, and in conversations with other people, it's been fascinating to hear their thoughts on him, but really the conversation around him, how much conversation there is about his mobility, his legs, his ability to extend plays, get outside the pocket, what have you. And a couple people have asked me, and I don't have the answer for this yet, is that because the legs are all he has? Or is it because it's different than Dylan? Or is it just what's really stood out? I don't think it's a shot at Dylan necessarily. Yeah. I think they went a different direction because they wanted more mobility, which sure is something we've talked ad nauseum. Can Dylan get any more, agile and mobile at Nebraska? Maybe that's not ever going to be his game. Maybe he needs to get better at navigating in the pocket. But I don't think that all the conversation around Calandria's mobility has been, hey, remember how immobile our previous guy was. Yeah. I don't think it's that. Where I do sense some concern from the people I've talked to is Calandria a legs first guy, a legs only guy, or are we underrating his arm? Is it better than we're giving it credit for? And we're going to be surprised with the strength, placement, touch, velocity, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think he's more than just legs. But I think that's what's drastically different than Dylan. And you just know that. Dylan's way bigger than him. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dylan's a legit 6'3 and a half, 230-pound quarterback. Mm-hmm. Where Calandra is, 5'10 and 5'11.
Yeah.
And so, of course, he's going to, be quicker and faster and look totally different. So that's like Captain Obvious. But I think he's more than just a running quarterback. I think he's a guy that can create a lot of plays, positive plays. I think he can he can wear a defense out by continue to, get first downs and explosive runs. I think he's pretty crafty. But also I think that, his ability to throw the ball outside of the pocket is also an attribute that maybe he's not getting enough credit for, where, he can make, explosive plays or create explosive plays, of course, by his legs and being able to, escape pressure and move and groove in the pocket. But when he gets outside the pocket, if he doesn't see a path to run, and they have receivers essentially working in unison with him, they can really make some plays, or he can really make some plays. Dropping back and just throwing deep. I mean, he didn't really do a lot of that, but I saw him be very aggressive and throw up the sideline, back shoulder fades, essentially back shoulder like go routes and drop it in the bucket. I've seen him try to make and execute every throw that a quarterback needs to make. Now, I haven't seen him do the Jeremiah Smith or stay in the Jeremiah Smith thing, but I don't know if we're even built like that to even do that on offense on a consistent basis, where you have one guy and he's essentially Randy Moss of the college ranks and just throw it up and let him go make a play.
Denny in Mobile says his legs, in my opinion, aren't as important as his arm, and not throwing interceptions is all I'm concerned about. Good luck with that. He's going to turn the ball over.
Yeah, everybody.
It's part of the deal. So defense has got to take it back.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it's something that every quarterback walking the face of the earth has weaknesses.
Yeah.
Every quarterback has faced and went through a period where they threw a lot of interceptions. Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions his first year. Then obviously he started to turn it around. Patrick Mahomes threw a lot of picks last year. And so, not to minimize it, but sure, it's something that I'm sure that I'm assuming he's coachable. He's a good kid. Shouldn't even say kid, good young man. Because he's of age, so he's a good young man that he's coachable. So he recognizes as well, and he wants to play his best too, right? And so it's something that they have to constantly, evaluate beyond and harp on and get better at, because the better it's going to make him a better player, quarterback, so forth and so on. And sure, it's what he can't do at the rate that he had been doing. It's about one every game.
Yeah.
Give or take, right? Right. And maybe like 50-50, like touchdown to turnover.
Which was better last year at UNLV,
right,
but level down.
Right, sure. But ultimately, you got to continue on the trend that you got better at that. And he was a young quarterback at Virginia.
Yeah.
You got better at that as you moved forward, and as you went up, and actually probably was a step down from ACC, but you have to go and continue to progress in that in order for you to be successful and the team to be successful.
I don't think, to use the Nebraska example, I don't think he's Taylor Martinez levels of leg only. I don't think he's going to be shoehorned into the wrong offense like Jamal Lord. I don't think he's as explosive a runner probably as Eric Crouch, just for some of those comparisons.
He's got a little bit of make you miss like Jamal Lord, but he's small. Jamal Lord was, again, a big quarterback.
Bigger dude.
Yeah, and so, he's just automatically going to look quicker. So he's got a little bit of Jamal Lord, doesn't have the breakaway speed like Crouch or Taylor, which is hard to do, right? Yeah. And that's not even a knock on Anthony. So he's got a little bit of everything. I mean,
he's almost the inverse of Tommy Armstrong to me, where Tommy was arm first but could move a little bit. I think Calandra's legs first and can throw a little bit.
Yeah, see, Tommy could run better than people give him credit for. I felt like, and he did,
but they never designed the quarterback run.
No, he didn't. But he could make some first downs, and he made some big ones with his legs. You're 100% right with that. Where it's the opposite, and now it just comes down to leadership skills, and the ability to lead guys through to hopefully some wins against good opponents in the big games.
The other comparison that came to mind for me, is there some Jalen Hurts there, but with quickness instead of power?
Probably a little bit of that. I mean, that's tough. I mean, Jalen Hurts was power.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, yeah, because Jalen Hurts isn't a burner.
No.
But he'll bust off a 30, 40-yard run on you, and that'll be something that's an asset. Jalen Hurts, I will tell you this, the only difference is he's never really turned the ball over a lot, right?
Sure.
But Jalen Hurts can have a pedestrian game throwing the ball, but still find a way to blow you out because he can control the clock with his mind and his legs periodically and obviously systematically. So
also a gamer,
yeah. And
because I don't think Calandra is Kyler Murray. Murray's got the baseball arm.
I think Calandra got a little bit more like
moxie.
Yeah, he's got that like juice. Like he runs, he kind of like jumps around and stuff. So he's got a little bit more juice to him. And that's just his personality when he gets out on the field, and that's what you like to see. So I mean, I think he'll be all right.
We'll go ahead and take your text to wrap up hour one of the show, and then we'll get into Lane Kiffin, Will Wade, and Kim Mulkey against the SEC. And then other conferences responding. That's coming your way in 15 minutes. Hour one of Old School presented by Heartland of Nebraska Windows rolls on.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they're committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perchmerch.com.
Hey, Jake, you know what I love almost as much as the Big Red?
Big scores on the field?
Good guess, but nope.
Big spikes on the court?
Love those too, but I'm thinking food. Like those big, budget-friendly portions you find at Buzzard Billy's.
Now you're talking. I love Buzzard Billy's. I love the shrimp po' boys and the blackened chicken.
You almost always find me enjoying gumbo.
Big plays, big scores, big wins, Big Red. Yep, love them all, especially
those big portions that are budget-friendly. Only at Buzzard Billy's, A-Market.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
Guys, if you're dealing with low back pain or trouble urinating, don't just live with it. These could be signs of treatable conditions. At Advanced Medical Imaging, their interventional radiologists specialize in minimally invasive procedures designed to relieve symptoms and improve your quality of life without major surgery. June is Men's Health Month. Take the step. Call Advanced Medical Imaging today to schedule a consult and find out what AMI can do for you.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and new Sierra and Silverado trucks continue to roll in, and August is a great time to upgrade. Right now, get new GMC Sierras for under $50,000 or get 2.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. Visit us in Louisville or anytime at koppelcars.com, stock number G306367 with approved credit.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
At the Nebraska State Fair, you never know what you'll experience. Maybe it's watching your kid fall in love with a baby goat. Maybe it's that first bite of something deep fried and incredible. Maybe it's the moment everyone puts their phone down because core memories are forming right in front of them. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
When the lights go out, every minute matters. Powerline helps LES respond to outages faster by linking your phone number to your service address. Get ready before the next outage at les.com/powerline.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at 23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offer great pay, health, dental, and vision, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Here's your updated 93.7 The Ticket forecast, sponsored by Bryant Air Conditioning, Electrical, Heating, and Plumbing. Slight chance of rain showers today, otherwise sunshine mixed with clouds at times. High temperatures reach up to 87. Southwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies. Tonight, slight chance of thunderstorms. Lows level off around 67. That's your updated forecast on Lincoln's home for the Kansas City Royals. 93.7 The Ticket. I'm meteorologist Kara Foster. Right now, it's 70 degrees.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Played Against Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Played Against Sports at 48th and Vine.
Your friends with the Grindstone Agency would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from the Grindstone Agency. Stay united and keep America safe and strong.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour one of Old School here on The Ticket. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Would love to hear from you. Drumstick says, Taylor Martinez is the fastest quarterback I've ever seen. Dude absolutely glided across the field. Taylor certainly looked fast on TV, certainly played fast. Jay, would he be the fastest quarterback you've ever laid eyes on?
Like him and Crouch. I mean, Crouch was fast too, but Taylor was. I think at the time that Taylor, and it was a totally different offense. I mean, Crouch, we were running like more horizontal. Then once he, turned it up, then he got going. Whereas the read option and the RPO, where he was just coming straight, just track speed. So both of those two, and I mean, if you want to give it to Taylor, maybe just because he, ran a little bit different, longer legs, but Crouch can roll. And don't sleep on T. Frazier either.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. T. Frazier's fast, too.
Was Vic fast or like shifty? What was his game?
He was everything.
Everything. Had it all.
He was 4'3", 40, could make you miss, strong, bigger than people give him credit for. Yeah, he was the real deal. I told you, man, I think Brian Allen, he's never been the same since.
Right.
And that's 100% facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Michael Vick was a problem.
Lane says, my interpretation is Anthony Calandra is more quick than straight line fast. I just hope he can stay healthy in the Big Ten. Saw him getting gassed this summer. He didn't look to be 200 pounds to me. Here's the thing, that's summer though, right? Probably gaining weight as you get closer to the season a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's in plenty of good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quick, but he's fast though too. He is quicker than fast, but yeah, he's not just only quick and doesn't have any speed. He can outrun some folks.
Thundernut Collins, we'll wrap up the hour with this. He says, if our offense is still not very good this year, do we start asking if Holgorsen is right at offensive coordinator for the program? He, to my way of thinking, has been a disappointment thus far. Haven't had, the 40-point per game season, but he has increased Nebraska's points per game, the 2.5 years he's been here.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
Yeah, I think the first, his first go around as coordinator, he really can't even count. I mean, it literally just came out the couch and started calling plays.
Yeah.
And you saw like a different type of play caller. They kind of put them together. They put in that swing pass that worked out like magic between Dylan and Emmett. And then last year, was based on the holistic as a team. You had to call plays differently and, probably a little bit more efficient. Probably didn't get as much deep threat as they would like, maybe out of Dane Key and so forth and so on. So you have to adjust, on the fly and need to see some progress, but then you're able to kind of be explosive in your own way by kind of really, honing in on Emmett. So this year, I think, is the year when you have a little bit more of a dual threat. We'll see what the play calling looks like, which he could be more dangerous, hopefully.
I think it was easy to get caught up in the lights, flash, glamour of the name of Dana Holgorsen and see what he'd done at times at Houston, but certainly back at Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and in previous stops as well. And so, or West Virginia, obviously, in there. So, yeah, relative to those numbers, yeah, it has been a letdown. But college football is also getting slower. Fewer drives per game, more plays per drive. And Dana Holgorsen's still figuring his way through it in a lot of ways, right? I don't think he's been the problem. Is there room for improvement? Yes, but where on Nebraska's roster is there not room for improvement at this point?
Yeah, and I think, play calling is one thing, execution is another.
Yeah.
Like I said, a couple of those runs last year, they had the right defensive call. They just weren't executed. I'm sure there was a lot of plays that they had dialed up that guys, we heard about it. The guys were open and we weren't giving the ball when they're getting sacked. So, and then there was some running, and we ran the ball just fine.
Like you said, another 1,400-yard rusher by accident.
I think it goes hand in hand. But I don't think just if the offense hadn't been up to what you expect or what he did. And this is also, we got to get going. This is also the problem. Like, you keep comparing him to what he did at like West Virginia and Houston, right? Well, this is the Big Ten, and college football is totally different. So he's calling plays a lot different.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
For sure.
So don't. You understand that gives him the credibility, but you don't keep judging him off of something that happened 10, 15 years ago.
Sports not the same.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
Bada Bing, appreciate your comment on YouTube. We've addressed that before. I don't remember exactly which day, but I know in our conversations about the linebacker room that has come up. So we'll direct you to the podcast. I'm sure you'll be able to find it there. Speaking of, our podcast available same day for you after the show is done. You can always pull up the broadcast, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. After it's done, rewind through it, watch it, listen to it that way as well. He's a Husker Hall of Famer, NFL vet, black shirt, Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. Hour 2 of Old School comes your way here in just a moment. Talking all things Lane Kiffin versus Greg Sankey, LSU versus the courts. Well, I guess the courts are in LSU's favor right now. Either way, there's a lot going on down in Baton Rouge. Yet again, we talk about that and more as we continue Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Husker fans, Coach Amy Williams here, thanking you so much for your support of Nebraska women's basketball. Season tickets go on sale August 17th, and we want you at PBA with us as we take the next step forward as a program. Our Huskers are hunting a school record-tying 4th straight NCAA tournament bid, and we want you there with us every step of the way. Get your season tickets at Huskers.com, and let's win the day at PBA. Go Big Red.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and new Sierra and Silverado trucks continue to roll in, and August is a great time to upgrade. Right now, get new GMC Sierras for under $50,000 or get 2.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. Visit us in Louisville or anytime at koppelcars.com. Stock number G306367 with approved credit.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop in Eustis, Cozad, Grand Island, Kearney, Lexington, and Lincoln.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
At the Nebraska State Fair, you never know what you'll experience. Maybe it's watching your kid fall in love with a baby goat. Maybe it's that first bite of something deep fried and incredible. Maybe it's the moment everyone puts their phone down because core memories are forming right in front of them. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
Nutrition Authority invites you to enjoy internet-crushing prices in the back-to-school blowout. We already offer better than internet pricing, but from Monday, August 24th through Saturday, August 29th, we're slashing them even deeper. The back-to-school blowout on Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out on mynutritionauthority.com.
The crack of the bat. Sizzling concessions. Yeah, that's the sound of summer at Haymarket Park. It's been that way for 25 seasons. And in this city, it's not a matter of if you'll catch a game, it's how many.
Safe.
That's because there's always something in play for Salt Dogs fans. From saluting our troops to Friday night fireworks, your local tradition plays on. Let's show summer how Lincoln celebrates 25 seasons. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Let me share something to make life just a little easier. It's just one word, Bryant. If we need service on our furnace or AC, we call Bryant. Same thing goes for an electrical issue. If I have a problem with my faucet, a toilet, a drain, or a water heater, I don't need to know how to fix something. I just need to know who to call. And at our house, it's Bryant.
Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Just one call. 467-1111. Remember, we do whatever it takes.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time. And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hour 2 of Old School comes your way here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you till noon. 9 to noon now is our new, not feeling new anymore, time slot. Been about 3 weeks of the 9 to noon show. Appreciate everyone who's made the switch over with us, and all the new people that are listening to the show, commenting, texting in as well. We got our regulars. We got, I'm not going to say our favorites, but certainly the recognizable names. And appreciate all of you finding Old School whenever and wherever it is that you do. But you can also find Graham Tire all over the place. They got 4 Lincoln locations, all sorts of great stuff going on. They've been proudly serving the Midwest for over 75 years. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs too, from brakes to oil changes. Trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. Jay, we'll do this in somewhat sequential order. Let's go ahead and start with the LSU order of operations here and everything going on at that university, and then the conference level response. So Lane Kiffin had a press conference, and he was asked about recruiting guys who had played in the NFL, guys who had that 5th year granted and then are coming back to college. Let's just hear what the old ball coach at LSU had to say. Here is Lane Kiffin.
We have, made a decision to recruit some kids around the country. And, through these multiple injunctions around the country, which this is not a first time, college sports for a while, a group of players were granted a 5th year of eligibility around the country in multiple sports. And through them winning their injunction and entry into the portal, they're available to recruit. And so ourselves, like many places around the country, are recruiting them. And at the end of the day, because of these rulings, they're either going to play for you or they're going to play somewhere else around the country. So we've made a decision to recruit them, like probably most people are.
Everyone else is doing it, so why can't we? If they're not going to play here, they're going to go play for someplace else.
Yeah, I mean, what he's saying is there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, look, the way college football is, nobody they haven't liked the way it was going for a long time. A lot of people forecasted it was going to be, somewhat anarchy, and that is somewhat true. I think people don't like it that the players are getting paid at the rate that they're getting paid. Nobody had a problem with the coaches getting paid at the rate that they were getting paid when in comparison with the players were doing for them to get paid. There needed to be some sort of regulation into the salary. I do think it shouldn't have been uniform on what the players get paid. If you have a really good player, he should be compensated a little bit higher to the maximum that they're getting right now. Probably not, because they haven't done it and they haven't earned it. Now, a guy like Jeremiah Smith probably should be the highest paid guy in college football.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. And nobody would argue with that.
Yeah.
And he deserves it. So he's earning his money. There's a lot of guys that aren't. And the rules are allowing players to, it's just kind of, it's almost it's a great product when the games get started. Mm-hmm. But in between the last game and when the season starts, let's just say when camp opens.
September 5th and January 25th.
Yeah. It's just straight up chaos. It's a clown show. We talked about it with Jamarcus Lawrence, when that was kind of floated out there. They probably knew it was going to get to that point. Well, you could have had an emergency, session and made sure that all this stuff was taken care of in the offseason, both basketball and football.
Yeah.
And then that way you won't have these conversations. People would have gotten over it. People probably would have been able to leave teams earlier because they would have been just in mini camp. People's feelings when they got hurt. And then now you got guys that are hanging on the moral, mountain of, well, you declared for the NFL and all that. Well, a lot of these guys probably wouldn't have if they could come back to college for another year. We have guys that stayed around here for another year because they're able to get compensated at or sometimes higher than the level that they were projected to get drafted at. Now you're saying that since the rules have changed at a later date, that they need to be held accountable and shouldn't be able to do something they want to do. Now, I would probably prefer them to stay pro, but I'm just saying it's an option. And Lane's right. If they're gonna play somewhere, why not here?
It's funny you mentioned that because the Daquan Wright's the tight end that there's been a lot of buzz about,
and they both played for him.
There's the defensive lineman as well, Xavier Harris, and Chris Lowe picked up on this. He said there's lots of irony here with Xavier Harris committing to LSU. Harris ripped Kiffin after the Sugar Bowl last year and told On3, among other things, that Ole Miss saw, quote, how a real head coach is supposed to be, end quote, after Pete Golding took over. Harris said Kiffin's departure felt like a slap in the face and was especially upset upon hearing Kiffin was interested in joining the ESPN broadcast during the game. He fumed. That's what Kiffin tried to do. He tried to be an announcer, trying to be a troll. We're going to troll him. We got something for him. He was just trying to steal our shine. That's all he tried to do. That's all he's been trying to do.
Sure. I mean,
and now it's a business decision to go play for the guy.
It is, and maybe it wasn't working out at the next level. And look, he's supposed to ride for Pete Golden. Lane's gonna listen. Lane going Lane. He's gonna use the players to the best of the ability, and he's gonna move on. He's trying to build a team, and he doesn't care who's playing. And LSU didn't care about anything that was going on with Lane when they hired him, and so he can kind of
and they might have even wanted him because it was going on.
Yeah, and they can put that stuff aside. So I think it's one of those things that, look, players say things, and he wanted to go for Pete Golden. They were going for a national championship. They had a great year. Lane left, so you're a little bit emotional. You definitely should have been hurt and upset at Lane. Mm-hmm. Lane knows that bygones be bygones, and he's going to get a player that was at an NFL camp for 3 weeks. That's what he's going to get.
You mentioned the Lane Kiffin of it all, and he's become the poster child for a lot of this. Did not sound all that convicted or confident in what he was saying. He's going to keep doing it, but compare how Lane Kiffin sounded. We'll play just a little bit of it again, and then we'll play another clip here in just a sec. Here's Lane.
Made a decision to recruit some kids around the country. And, through these multiple injunctions around the country, which this is not a first time, college sports for a while.
That's Lane. Here's what Scott Drew sounded like when he was recruiting James Najee back last basketball season.
Well, first, Coach Izzo and I are friends. I got a lot of respect for him. Great conversation. As he said, most coaches are 99% aligned on things that we would like to see done with our game. At the same time, from my knowledge, until we get to collective bargaining, I don't think we can come up with rules that are agreeable or enforceable. And until that, I think all of us are got to be ready to adjust and adapt to what's out there. Early on, when it first came out with G League players, I wasn't in favor of that either. But again, we don't make the rules, and as we find out about things, we're always going to adapt to put our program in the best position to be successful, because that's what we get paid to do.
That's Baylor head coach Scott Drew speaking after James Najee said a lot of the same things. Thought it was notable though that he didn't go the route of legality. That's all Lane wanted to talk about. Well, it's legal. It's legal. He can't punish me. It's legal. Yeah. And Drew did more of the coach speak. Oh, we got to adapt. We got to adjust. So I wasn't for it. But hey, my hands are tied. We have to compete. It's all about my program. And again, some of this is just kind of surface level stuff. Scott Drew made, I think, a much better poster child for college basketball with his approach to it, how he handled it, how he sounded in that quote and some others, compared to Nate Oates, who went like radio silent on it. And then like Lane Kiffin, who just didn't sound that confident when he was talking about all that.
Yeah, but you got to know Lane. He don't like conflict,
but he creates so much of it,
and he don't like being held accountable. And that's the way he's always been, and so, that's just he's fumbling over his words because he would rather just do what he needs to do and go coach, and he doesn't want to be held accountable for some of his actions, right? And so, just like with the whole thing, you can go back when he was going back and forth whether he was going to leave Ole Miss. He was fumbling over his words then, and he was saying a whole bunch of stuff and not saying anything.
Yeah.
Where Scott Drew, he was keeping it real, and, he kind of brought Tom Izzo in there to kind of soften the blow a little bit. So it is what it is, and it's unfortunate for college football that it has this, temporary stain on it, but ultimately once the games get started, nobody's going to really care. Look, nobody cared, or people were up in arms that you had guys staying around college for 7, 8, 9 years. Guys is 27, 28 years old playing college football. You have a guy that's going to come back and has technically more eligibility left, and didn't play a regular season game, but played a couple preseason games with a glorified practices, and are coming back to play college football because the rules changed at a later date. It's not right, but it is not that big a deal. There are bigger issues going on with college football and everyone's program versus if a guy's coming back to play on your team that hadn't been around for 4 months that's going to play 3 months of football.
But isn't it the core of the issue, the eligibility, figuring out who's eligible and who's not, right? It's about the players, but to me, it's about them.
Yeah.
But it's also about the bigger picture, right? Because if we don't know who can play,
now they should know. Now you shouldn't. Now with the 5 for 5, there will be like the odd case that you're probably going to have to go if you had, circumstances or something like that. But now after this year, it's just 1 year. But this is the hill that you're trying to stand on in the Big Ten. This is what you're doing. This is really what we're doing now.
Oh, we'll get to the Big Ten and the SEC's response in our next segment. That's a whole deal there. But what would you say are the bigger issues than this eligibility stuff?
Well, you should have some sort of cap, right? Like an entry cap. But since you have 5 for 5, okay, you should have a 2-year first cap for let's say rookie cap. In the first 2 years of those 5 years.
Okay.
You should have some sort of cap that you have to operate under, right? That's number one. Number two, you should have the ability to continue to have rev share and then have obviously a little bit more viable checks and balances for quote unquote true NIL, right? So that's not caught up in you're not just denying all these deals just to buy yourself time for the thing that you were supposed to do when you came out with your announcement last year. Mm-hmm. So you weren't ready.
Yeah.
That's right. That's because everybody's fixated on these college kids making money. So, you still don't want them to make money and all this. That's fine. So you fix that. Then the transfer thing is set, right? And now you have the recruiting thing where you can pay kids in high school and all that needs to go into your early entry cap or your kind of like your rookie cap. Sure, now you get to pay guys. Now you're trying to get. Now you put things in place to kind of keep teams together, keep guys committed. You got them financially obligated. Okay, well then you can address some things. Okay, when guys transfer up or transfer down, or more importantly, when you transfer up, when you're going to pluck all these good players that you've refused to recruit at an earlier date from these schools, they need to be compensated, or something needs to happen with that, right? Then you need to put a thing in there for circumstances. A coach gets fired, the defensive coordinator gets fired. Okay, what happens is that a free second transfer, right? Say I come to Nebraska and guy gets clipped the first year. Do I get another transfer on top of my one free transfer? Okay, is there a family or financial transfer? Or is there a transfer that you will willingly do the second time without any of those circumstances? Will the team pay that fee? Or are you willing to sit out a game or two? Like, all those things need to be like ironed out on top of, administration issues and all that type of stuff. Like, all that stuff. You want to do conference realignment. You want to do all that. Just knock it all out at once. But you're up here worried about guys coming back after a rule that you guys have refused to address, right? You knew this was coming. You knew the JUCO rule was coming. You knew that Pavio was going to do it. You knew people were going to be able to parlay that on it. So when that happened, and you knew 5 for 5 was coming out, because you started talking about 5 for 5 last year, so why didn't you address it then? You addressed it when you felt like getting around to it, right? But you didn't.
When it was staring you in the face, as opposed to when
you addressed it last year before football, when it was first started coming out. That means you would have handled every single sport, football and basketball. So essentially, college football playoffs, March Madness would have been taken care of.
Yeah,
and then it would have trickled down to all the other sports. And if there's one that's a little bit later, then you couldn't go back to do it, but not on the biggest sport. During training camp, right before the first week of week 0, you're dealing with this now. And now, obviously, no other place that would rather have that right on their forefront than LSU. They love controversy.
Do they ever? 2280 kind of picks up on what you were saying there, and letting everything come to a head, right, all at once. The problem isn't that it's a bigger issue. The problem is that it's another issue. Feels like the issues are never ending. We're all just waiting for what's next.
Because they're not fixing anything.
They're not fixing
reacting.
anything. They're reacting.
Yeah.
But these problems have been under the surface for a long time. They had their chance to fix them one at a time a long time ago, and they chose not to. So I think the reason 2280 that it feels like the issues are never ending, that it's another issue piled on top of it, is because we're getting to that point. Just like we were with the eligibility waivers, right? Guess what? Those piled up and piled up and piled up, and they did their best, or they told you, but there were some getting approved and some getting denied for seemingly random reasons, and no real rhyme or reason for that. And so maybe we are getting to the point in college sports where we just need to reimagine the whole system, blow it up, start over. I don't want to. That's a pain. That's a hassle. It's college sports aren't taking a year off like Major League Baseball might have to reset the economics of the game and everything.
Do you really need a year off for this?
You shouldn't, but it might take that. It might take that to open the eyes. It shouldn't. There should be no reason you need a year off.
You're trying to tell me right now that you couldn't get a legitimate committee together and all these smart people that can, like, you could use AI, I bet, and all the problems that you've had, and get together during the season, nobody say anything, and have some sort of rules and regulations. If you just want to do college football and then start basketball, or just college in general, you're trying to tell me you guys couldn't get this together in 6 months?
Well, they've turned a lot of meetings into meetings that could have been an email. And the problem is they've turned a lot of emails into emails that should have been meetings.
Yeah.
Why are we emailing about the important stuff, not actually sitting down and getting stuff accomplished when these thought leaders get together? Are they the right thought leaders? Do they have the right ideas? Do they have the right implementation ideas? Are they talking to the right people, across the country? That might be another question that needs to be
And
asked.
also, do you have the right representation when you're trying to make these rules? Like, do you have agents there? Do you have like some sort of like players or former players that are like have the players' best interest in there that can be a voice of reason? Because if you just got like, I love Nick Saban, you up there just saying, and you want to talk about guys getting $5,000 a month or whatever. Well, that's not, you don't have any agents there, and I'm not even sure agents need to be there, because, to be honest with you, a lot of NIL agents are over there getting over on the kids anyway. So you're no better than the coaches. You're charging a kid that's already, there's no negotiation going on. And I'm sure there's some details in the contract, right?
Yeah.
But when they're calling them up or DMing them, and then you have first contact and they already know with the price tag, you didn't negotiate anything yet. Now you're charging 20-something%. And so if you're a more detailed agent at the college level, when deals are done within hours versus the process of guys getting drafted or free agency, well, then so be it. Now, I don't see any college agent 7 times more knowledgeable or powerful than any NFL agent. NFL agents, first round guys, 1 to 3% is what they're getting charged. Generally, the guys that go really high, it's 1%. I've seen the contracts. We've seen the contracts.
Yeah.
That where there's agents out there charging 20-25%. Essentially, they're
and bragging about it online.
And they're essentially charging these guys agent fees when that's what you used to get charged, at least when I played, for when somebody gets you a marketing deal. So you're charging them marketing
prices for agent work.
So everybody needs to be there. I think you can get it figured out. I don't really think they want to.
Would you say that the agent thing could be a silver bullet if you get licensed agents that are forced to act on the up and up? We would actually get the money in order and the transfers in order. How much would that help?
That would help out a lot. Get the right representation. I think it also for the high school kids. I also think that it's also on the universities as well. Like you're paying all these kids all this money and they have no idea because all they do is so they get here. I always say, you ever seen like those cartoons about the selfish kids that, want the pizza and they put their arms around it? That's how they are, like at the football programs are. So they don't want anybody in here, just except for you're in a cool club. Well, that's fine. And then now you got these players, you're paying them all this money, and you're not helping them manage the money. You're not teaching them anything. Sure, you'll bring a guy in from and there's no offense against anybody from Merrill Lynch. They don't have any real life experience. They don't know what it's like to have that type of pressure. They're 18 years old. This kid doesn't know anything about it that's coming in there. This young man or woman that's talking to you. They have no idea what it's like to step on the field and knowing that you're paying and playing for something else besides yourself that has nothing to do with the team or the people. So as much as the teams and the coaches and everybody are mad about it, they're part of the problem too. So
and
once you get some people there and just put all 100 issues and take 100 days to figure out the 100 issues, you'll be ready by January 1st. And you know what? You can announce it and be in a better position moving forward when the transfer portal season is already going on during college football playoffs, and then obviously when the new season or off season starts as well.
Even pop your champagne.
You can take 100 days from right now, and if there's 100 issues, and get them all figured out. And even if it might not be perfect, there'll be 10 times farther along than where you're at right now.
Derek in a car sends in a couple of texts. First of all, it says, take agents out of the loop. They're not even needed. I don't know if I can go that far.
They're needed.
You just need good ones.
Well,
correct.
I just said that they don't do a good job with these guys with financial literacy or whatever. Realistically, on staff, you just kind of you don't have anybody that's there that's going to help these guys and teach them to say no and all this other stuff.
Right.
Well, you do need an agent or lawyer to look through the language and make sure that you're protected. You don't want so if you're in there and say you have a kid that. So I played with a guy named Jamie Nails. He was represented by Drew Rosenhaus. So Jamie Nails' first contract when he played on the tender had a amendment or a rider that was a little bit of a weight clause in there.
Okay.
Well, it was hard for Jamie Nails to kind of always make his weight. No matter, it was just kind of one of those things. They wanted him a little bit lower than he could have. He should have been. He played really good at 370. They wanted him at 362, which is crazy to me saying, right? Well, he lost a little money there. Well, then he performed so well in the next deal. That one now is take it or leave it, or he's going somewhere else, right? Then he ended up signing a really, good deal down in Miami and had to, obviously get that out of it as well. So you do need an agent because you got to make sure if there's a situation like that, and you don't want performance based on it, just like the teams don't want performance based on it because they want to be able to have their salary cap pretty much clean because if you're about to hit your incentives, we've seen this with Bill Belichick and all these guys are notoriously known not to play you. Was it Rush or Cooper Rush for Dallas? The quarterback was going to get a $500,000 bonus by playing that game. Jerry Jones is like, I paid you enough.
Well, didn't DeVito have that same thing with the Giants not long ago?
DeVito, you had the baseball player for the Pittsburgh Pirates
Yep.
a few years ago. So you need agents, and I think you need to have certified. I also think that that you need to have some education on how to deal with agents. There's more resources. We're talking about resources earlier in the first hour. Is resources you need to put in towards these players to make it more appealing. The short side of thinking is that all the players want is money. There's some that do, right. That's probably like 10 or 15%. I'm worried about the 90%, because the 90% is going to make you help you win. Because if a player is coming to your school only for money or for things, he won't be here more than a year or two.
Right.
Because he'll always be chasing that. He will always will be playing for that. So he will never be into your team. You know what I'm saying?
And if he's going to be into your team, you had to overpay him.
Right. But then he won't be financial, or not financial. He won't be like emotionally invested. So you won't even get the player that you want, because he's going to be individualized solely. He's going to separate himself from your team. We've seen that, right?
Every year.
So, I think everybody's got to step back and look at it realistically. But when everybody's getting paid, right? I would say, look, they can't pay the players what they can't afford, and they're not going to pay them anything that they're not, or they can't afford, because they're going to make sure they get paid. They're going to make sure they're whole first. Period. So why are you complaining?
A couple things to get to here. Also from Derek in a car, says, Jay, just use a boilerplate, ironclad standard contract, make it the same all over. Great in theory. Where do those standard contracts come from? More often than not, they're collectively bargained. A lot of those terms are in there. So what you can put in the contract, what you can't put in the contract. And Derek
you should just have a standard one generally that has to go through some sort of, just like the NFL's got to go through the PA, it's got to go through the league. You can't have that Ricky Williams contract and all that type of stuff.
Where's the college football PA? Oh, wait. And then Derek in the car also says, how about salary caps per position and per team? That's way out the window, right? The best example of that is college football. They had the Title IX, got to be certain money, allocated to certain sports or whatnot. Most teams are doing 75% of their rev share budget toward football. Guess what? That's supposed to be a salary cap, except guess what? They found ways to exceed that by NIL outside of that. And it's been proven that, challenging NIL is not going to hold up in court. You won't be able to bar the players from making money, which is one thing. The other part I think is interesting here in the last couple minutes of the segment, Jay, salary caps per position. Derek, I'm sorry. I hate that idea, because what's going to happen if you do salary caps by position is college football is going to become so vanilla. You're going to build teams the same way. You're not going to have the stylistic diversity between teams, right? Maybe in one area of the country, it's run first, right? You're going to spend a lot of money on running backs, on tight ends to beef up the run game. Maybe in other areas of the country, it's going to be wide receivers and DBs. Obviously, everyone is going to pay a quarterback. There is that. But even to that, okay, let's say you're Jeff Brom, Purdue. You can't find a great running back, right? You got to develop a Maccabee. You got to develop a King Doru or whoever. But you can get Rondale Moore to campus.
Yeah.
If you can only, maybe if everyone can only pay Rondale Moore so much, he'll go to you for your scheme. But if it's Rondale Moore and who else, or you don't have a good wide receiver, you want to pay a bunch of money to, are those guys going to end up getting overpaid, relative to their production, because, well, we have to use this much money on this because it's capped. So I see where you're coming from, but there have just been so many ways to elude the salary cap in general, with a really soft cap, I guess, at this point, the rev share cap. And Jay, I like the diversity in team building, with the athletes that you have in your area, the ones that your system attracts. I think making it a per position salary cap would make college football so vanilla.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really like that. And I mean, I think you're dictating how a team is going to build their team. And so, like a team like Iowa, they have a big emphasis on offense and defensive line. Stanford back in the day with Jim Harbaugh, offensive line, tight ends, and all that. So you got to allow teams to build their team accordingly. But I understand where he's coming from. You want some sort of guardrails around it, and there should be. And you know what? Like I said, after the first or second year, and you're really performing, you can even do the first year, and then you could really have two sets of contracts where you're at, and as far as the player goes. your entry contract. And these guys still would be making more money than they can even think of on top of their scholarship money, and they're coming in here. Nobody's trying to take anything away from anybody. But you can, have a cap that what you can pay a player, or just have a cap that you have and go from there. And then you can, make an incentive for guys to continue to progress. But then also I think it will level out recruiting as well.
Sure.
For a team like LSU that's going to have an influx of money and keep, look, these guys that they just got are essentially high school seniors, the guys they got from the pros.
Mm-hmm.
I look at them like you didn't have them on your team. You didn't have them all off season. Now you get one of those guys that the senior in high school, but he was actually like 20-some years old, and there you're playing against a bunch of freshmen.
Tim Riggins.
Right, so you're getting a bunch of grown men coming in here along with your freshman class that's going to boost up your team. There should be some sort of cap around all of it, as far as in every step of the way, but they have to get out of their own way and really make some decisions that are betterment for college football. And I don't really think anybody that's getting on TV saying they want to do the better, what's best for the game, because they hadn't been doing what's best for the game when they were part of the game. There's nothing wrong with it. You're playing by the rules and living off of it. And so right now you either got to really get in and dig in and try to fix it, or sit on the sideline and watch it just like us.
Steven says, I'm quickly losing my love for college football. Pay for play has ruined the game, especially with no guardrails in place to level the field. I'm happy to see the Big Ten is trying to put rules in place to keep players out of college that have already had NFL contracts, etc. We'll talk about the Big Ten's response, the SEC's response, and the ACC and the Big 12 following suit as we continue this discussion on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At the Nebraska State Fair, you never know what you'll experience. Maybe it's watching your kid fall in love with a baby goat. Maybe it's that first bite of something deep fried and incredible. Maybe it's the moment everyone puts their phone down because core memories are forming right in front of them. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at 23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offer great pay, health, dental, and vision, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
Better up!
The crack of the bat. Sizzling concessions. Yeah, that's the sound of summer at Haymarket Park. It's been that way for 25 seasons. And in this city, it's not a matter of if you'll catch a game, it's how many.
Safe.
That's because there's always something in play for Salt Dogs fans. From saluting our troops to Friday night fireworks, your local tradition plays on. Let's show summer how Lincoln celebrates 25 seasons. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again. Joining me in a few moments is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, I would like to share something with you, something that I think is very important for you. By now, most people in Lincoln know that Honda of Lincoln is a great place to buy or lease a new Honda. What most people don't know is Honda of Lincoln is also a great place to sell your car, too. Now I'd like to bring on Andy to tell you more about it.
Thanks, Charlie.
Andy, everyone knows you will trade for all makes and models, but can you tell our listeners about buying their car, whether they get a new vehicle or not?
I sure will, Charlie. It's a win-win for both of us. We need more quality used cars, and if anyone needs to sell a car, we will pay them top dollar. It's really just that simple. When they stop by the dealership, just mention to someone they would like to sell their car, and within minutes, we will have them an offer.
Experience the best Honda of Lincoln, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to enjoy internet-crushing prices in the back-to-school blowout. We already offer better than internet pricing, but from Monday, August 24th through Saturday, August 29th, we're slashing them even deeper. The back-to-school blowout on Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out on mynutritionauthority.com.
Let me share something to make life just a little easier. It's just one word, Bryant. If we need service on our furnace or AC, we call Bryant. Same thing goes for an electrical issue. If I have a problem with my faucet, a toilet, a drain, or a water heater, I don't need to know how to fix something. I just need to know who to call. And at our house, it's Bryant.
Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Just one call. 467-1111. Remember, we do whatever it takes.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop in Eustis, Cozad, Grand Island, Kearney, Lexington, and Lincoln.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
Halfway home on Old School, a little bit more. Ran a little long in that last segment. That's all right. We had plenty to get to. You can still be a part of the show, 402-464-5685 on our Sartor Heeman Jewelers text line. Big shout out to the folks at Schwiezo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Schwiezo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back both on and off the job site. Apply today at Schwiezo.com. 40-plus years strong in business. Schwiezo Construction. You alluded to it, Jay mentioned it a little bit. The Big Ten going full morality police here. This was reported by Pete Thamel earlier this morning. Pete Thamel, writing for ESPN, says, sources, the Big Ten is set to pass a rule today that doesn't allow players to return from the NFL and play for a Big Ten school. Anyone who has declared for the NFL draft and did not withdraw, appeared on an NFL roster, or signed a contract with a pro league cannot be on a Big Ten roster. Ross Dellinger then has continued the reporting on this. The ACC and the Big 12 have said similar things, and SEC presidents, per Ross Dellinger, are expected to direct ADs against accepting pro players under threat of penalty. Per bylaws, Greg Sankey and or presidents hold the authority to deem a player ineligible, fine or suspend coaches, etc. One source tells Ross Dellinger, this is Greg Sankey's Sorsby moment.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand where the Big Ten's moving swiftly to set the precedent, so you don't have anybody like along or far in the process of recruiting, or I guess assigning that a player that was in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I see where they're coming from. I'm not understand why you're going to move so swiftly on this. And not other things.
Well, number one, because you think it's probably going to be easy, but you're still going to get sued to high heaven.
Yeah, I mean,
you make the rule, but people are still going to sue you.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand that you want to have you have a standard in your league. You want the league to be all in step with this decision. And as leadership, I respect Petiti. I'm assuming that's kind of leading us that.
Yeah.
You want to set the precedent that we're not going to stand for this, and we're going to, even though the timing wasn't fair, life isn't fair, we're just going to move forward. I do understand that, but I also think that with Sankey, essentially you have, besides Kirby Smart, you have your most influential coach calling you to the carpet already, passively, and they're acting aggressively.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Sankey's like, you know what? I'm already going to take this leadership role. It's not going to let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Once Todd Monken mentioned Lane Kiffin calling him, because Lane Kiffin was like, probably, hey man, is this dude gonna make your team?
Mm-hmm.
Because he probably called Lane, hey, is this dude gonna make your team? And Todd Monken didn't call him back. But if I was Sankey, that's where you could have nipped it in the bud. You could have actually called Lane and say, I'd probably advise you not to recruit these guys, or else I'm going to have to come out and lay a hammer down.
Mm-hmm.
But TD stepped up and do it. So I can understand that. I just think it's funny that at this point in time, the league is going to, jump on this thing and roll with this as far as like where they're going to take a stand against, like college football.
I'm not surprised the Big Ten would say this. It seems like a very Big Ten decision to do this. There's an argument for the Big Ten to jump on board and recruit these players, if possible, to maintain its advantage. I'm not necessarily surprised the SEC would push back against this, right? I think that's 15 coaches that probably despise Lane Kiffin in some way.
Yeah, or jealous, one of the two.
Or jealous.
Or tired of him.
Tired of him,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, whatever the rationale is. In one Lane Kiffin, it's 15 against 1, and that's kind of overwhelming. But I could see the SEC saying, hey, it's time for our heel turn again. Let's get the talent back in the doors. Let's go win a title. You're empowered to win a title. I am honestly, Jay, shocked, floored that the ACC and the Big 12 took the same stance and are going to push their decision makers to say, hey, we're not going to recruit these fifth-year guys or guys that have played in the NFL before because of how far behind those leagues are.
Yeah.
If you're the ACC and the Big 12, what incentive do you have to do the right thing? I'm glad they are seemingly the right thing, but if you're trying to catch up, you need to be the last ones trying to institute this rule. The Big Ten and the SEC need a lot less help than you do. So why are you so quick to jump on board? Oh, no, we'll never do that when you haven't won a title in who knows how long.
Yeah, it's just really interesting that they haven't. This is their chance. And I guess, look, everybody wants to. And maybe it's one of those things you want to be in lock and step with the Big Ten and with the hopes that you can kind of work against the SEC, because those two leagues are lacking, right?
Slacking and lacking.
One or two teams out of there that are worthwhile, and so I think as a league, I'm looking at it also. Is there really that many good players that because if they were really good, they would have either got drafted or they would be making the team.
Yeah.
So is it really,
or they would have stayed in college to get paid one,
right? But they didn't know.
Sure.
They didn't know, but so there. So this is the juice worth the squeeze? So I do understand that. There's not now. I can tell you if it was it Antonio Cromartie? Remember him from Florida State?
Oh yeah.
Right. So he didn't play his senior year.
I remember him from the Chargers, but yes, Florida State.
Yeah. So he didn't play his senior year.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say he slipped in the draft, or didn't get drafted because he was unfortunately hurt. I think he got hurt in spring. Didn't play his senior year.
Yeah.
And didn't come back, right? And say he didn't. Let me tell you something. Not one of them leagues would look like turning down a chance to sign him.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it also depends on who's out there available.
And there's still just a trickle. It's like 16, maybe 19 guys that are, falling under this right now.
So if you divide that evenly, let's just say 20.
Across 138 teams, 1 in 6 schools gets it.
Right. Or just in the Power 4, there's 5 that's going to come into a conference. Sure. So on both sides of the argument, it's 5, so it's not worth it. It's 5, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
You right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're like the SEC, all of them are coming here.
All of them are coming here, or if you're all coming to one program,
or
like we're starting to see with LSU.
Or if you're LSU and feel like you're getting all the good players, all the good ones out of the pool, Which
my bigger thing would be, okay, if it happens this year, I don't love it. I don't think it should happen. It's understandable that it would with the chaos and the confusion. But then, Jay, that to me sets the precedent for years to come. What if you've played 3 years, you declare as a junior or a redshirt sophomore, oh, sorry, you're a surprise cut. You weren't as good as you thought you were. And maybe like RJ Luis did on the basketball side of things. And then you decide to come back, right? You signed your contract, you went through training camp, you get cut. Oh, sorry, didn't make it. Come back. I still have 2 years of eligibility left. You play your 4th year, get drafted again. Oh, this time's different, right? This is what I've learned from my previous, I put up numbers, go to training camp, maybe you're a 5th round pick or whatever. But, they signed a free agent at your position over the offseason. They made a trade for a guy they couldn't pass up. Hey, sorry, you're going to be on the practice squad. Nope, just kidding. I'm going back to college. And then you play your 5th year. I don't want this to keep happening.
Yeah.
That's where you're, to your point, get in a room, figure it out so it doesn't. But these people, if this again, I know it's a far-fetched scenario for now, but you can see it happening because there's been this legal standing before that you were in the NFL, you came back. You were in the NBA, you came back, which is where, to me, I want it to be more black and white, as opposed to that gray wiggle room, so we don't have to keep dealing with it.
I think a lot of people are like, that's what they want. They want it to be. I want it to just be done and over with. Like just one more pain, with this situation, and be done and be over with and move forward. Whereas like a lot of people, and rightfully so, are worried about, okay, what's next, or what's the other lawsuit that can happen because this happened. So that's why I say get together, stop the bleeding on this, so you don't have somehow, some way, somebody getting 7 years of eligibility, or to be able to actually go play and say, hey, I was just on the practice squad for 6 or 3 games. I didn't play. I was on the practice squad, so I need to come back in the middle of the years. Whatever they can try to, get around the, the obvious.
We get this from RD, and then we'll go to break. A rule needs to be implemented that if you declare for the draft, get drafted, and are in a pro camp, but come back to college, you have to sit out a year. We've already tried that with the transfers. That didn't work. We've already seen the eligibility thing. Hey, you have to sit out a year. People are suing to get that year back. It doesn't count. Now, I think coaches, Jay, would be more than happy to give up a roster spot potentially if the player's good enough. But would it be worth it for that player to have to sit out a year? Almost never.
What about, okay, if you're what about one of these guys, I guess as a commissioner, okay, if you want to come back and you want to sign these guys, all right, they have to sit out 4 games.
So then you're or Isaac Copeland, Derek Walker.
Or they have to miss 1 or 2 conference games. So, you can play in the non-con, but then you got to miss the first, 2 conference games.
Yeah.
So you get to play 10 games.
As long as it's not Michigan, pick your punishment, pick when you're suspended.
No, the first 2 doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're playing Mississippi State or, up,
or Alabama
or whatever. You're just
Michigan or Rutgers, right. Whatever.
You're missing those first 2.
Yeah.
Or you miss the first 2 of the year, which, but, they're important for these guys coming back, because every game that they can get on tape potentially could help them get drafted.
That it could. We'll go to break. We'll wrap up this hour of Old School right after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
Nutrition Authority invites you to enjoy internet-crushing prices in the back-to-school blowout. We already offer better than internet pricing, but from Monday, August 24th through Saturday, August 29th, we're slashing them even deeper. The back-to-school blowout on Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out on mynutritionauthority.com.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers, and someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money, and most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed. what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and save thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again. Joining me in a few moments is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, I would like to share something with you, something that I think is very important for you. By now, most people in Lincoln know that Honda of Lincoln is a great place to buy or lease a new Honda. What most people don't know is Honda of Lincoln is also a great place to sell your car, too. Now I'd like to bring on Andy to tell you more about it.
Thanks, Charlie.
Andy, everyone knows you will trade for all makes and models, but can you tell our listeners about buying their car, whether they get a new vehicle or not?
I sure will, Charlie. It's a win-win for both of us. We need more quality used cars, and if anyone needs to sell a car, we will pay them top dollar. It's really just that simple. When they stop by the dealership, just mention to someone they would like to sell their car, and within minutes, we will have them an offer.
Experience the best Honda of Lincoln, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Dana Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Dana Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop in Eustis, Cozad, Grand Island, Kearney, Lexington, and Lincoln.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Sports remind us what's possible when we believe in each other. When teamwork and trust matter just as much as talent. On and off the field or court, we're stronger when we work together. That's why at UBT, your money has people who have your back. From financial coaching and goal setting to home loans and business support. Success happens when you've got the right team, and you'll find yours at UBT. Union Bank and Trust, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
The pre-harvest clearance sale is happening now at Landmark Implement. We've got more than just harvest equipment. Find great deals on tractors, skid steers, balers, and more with a wide selection of equipment ready to move. And right now, take advantage of financing at just 3.90% for 12 months, followed by 6.75% for 48 months with approved credit. So don't wait. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or shop online today at landmarkimp.com. It's the pre-harvest clearance sale at Landmark Implement. Experience the Landmark difference.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
Wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Full another hour to go here on the program. 402-464-5685. As always, if you would like to participate in the proceedings. Jay, we did let one LSU coach off the hook there in that hour. No longer. She has a segment dedicated to her. Kim Mulkey playing geopolitics.
Man.
Not effectively, though.
Listen, if a coach can never tell you or never tell you, if a coach ever tells you they care about you and care about your well-being, they'll show you the hell they don't.
For people that might have missed the story, explain it for him.
Yeah, so obviously LSU has been a big player. They got Jada Williams, point guard that was at Iowa State and Arizona before that. Obviously, I already had great players on the roster. Then she had a young lady by the name of, I think his last name is Koval, right?
Yeah, Kate Koval.
Kate Koval, who is from
Ukraine.
Obviously, it came over from the Ukraine
Mhm.
and was presently on the team.
Yeah.
And played last year.
Mhm.
Decent player. Well, then Kim Mulkey proceeds to recruit a young lady from Russia.
Anna Maneva,
And
6'5", who, get this, previously played professionally.
Yep. So
Par for the course.
Coach Wade over there say, this is how you do this. And she thought it would be a great idea for a Ukrainian, is that what they're Ukrainian?
Yep.
A Ukrainian and a Russian to be on the same team at this time. When
Mulkey told the New Orleans Advocate that she talked to Koval before starting to pursue Maneva and had hoped the two could be ambassadors for their country.
Yeah, ambassadors for their countries. When Kate Koval's dad is actively fighting the war against Russia in Ukraine. So he is actively in the fight.
In the fray.
In the fray. Actively.
Not just hanging out, not just
hanging
like
out like my man right
pro-Ukrainian
there.
protester.
Not just hanging out like
He
my
is
man right there. Do you
actually
see him?
on the I'm trying not to give him
Look at it. If that hair is not Nebraska, that is not Nebraska. Is he on the video?
We can get him on the video.
Oh, now he's leaving. He would have been.
Oh, he almost has an LSU tat on his back.
He does?
It was LSL.
Oh, well,
that was
I don't know
close.
this. Yeah. So she thought that they could be ambassadors. Now Kate Koval has decided to leave immediately, and was like, "You can't be serious."
Oh, she was serious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was serious, but it lets you know how cutthroat. And this is when we talked about players getting paid. How cutthroat it can be. So the players have to be cutthroat. Not saying every coach is like this. Majority of the coaches, they do not care about you. They'll tell you whatever they need to tell you, and that's fine. And they're not going to be man or woman enough to tell you that they don't care. They'll play around in the kumbaya. They don't. They're all self-serving, majority of them. And Kim Mulkey is a great coach, was a great player, a fiery coach. I liked her. Loved her at Baylor. Loved her at LSU. Liked her what she's done. But for her to call somebody and say, "Hey, it's a complimentary call. Hey, before it hits the wire or the news, I just want to let you know we're recruiting this lady or this girl from Russia that played professionally. Just wanted to let you know." Well, that call let her know, Kate Koval, no, we already assigned her. We're just waiting for her to get over here. So you didn't. So for this Kate Koval, whether she was good or not, that conversation you had with her is bigger than basketball. Like her dad's on the line.
Yeah.
So you expected her to, and I don't know. Obviously, there's bad blood, obviously, between those two countries or whatever, and that's their business. But you have to respect that, though. And it's not saying that you can't recruit the young lady from Russia. But what it's saying is you gave that young lady no choice but to leave. And it's a little bit short notice.
A lot of short notice.
And those are the circumstances when hopefully this all gets figured out, that where the players should be no question that young lady should be able to transfer immediately. No question.
Yeah.
Because it's out of her control. It's the coach's decision. This is a decision, or this is a situation that's bigger than basketball. She should be able to transfer immediately and go wherever she wants. And really, to be honest with you, LSU should be, wherever she goes, should be on the hook for her NIL, I'm sure she's getting NIL. LSU does women's basketball has pretty big NIL. Should be paying her NIL.
Why not?
It should be. You should, and it's not a penalty for recruiting somebody. It's just the business of doing the business that you're doing. But now for her, she has limited places that she can go. Right?
Yeah. She averaged 8 and 6 last year for LSU. 17.
Okay, so you can't say that she was crappy.
No.
Okay, so then that even further makes my argument.
The two quotes from Kim Mulkey to Koval. I want you to understand, I'm not here to ask you to change how you feel about Russia. I'm just here out of respect for your family and out of respect for you to let you know, because I know how personal it is for you.
Thank you.
Followed up by, Know that what I have to do in this business, I cannot make a decision to not recruit somebody that can help our program because of a conflict between two countries. Some things are bigger than basketball. Wars are not one of them.
And to Mulkey's defense, that is true. You have to, and it's no
same
different.
thing Scott Drew said, essentially.
The same thing that Lane Kiffin is saying. He's just a different person saying it. Same thing that Coach Wade's saying over there at the men's basketball department. They have to do, their job is the coach. Their job is the recruit. Their main job is when they tip off is to have the best team possible. In an ideal world, you would like to see these two young women be able to coexist together. Listen, I'll tell you this. Khalid Al-Amin played over in Israel. He's Muslim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah. In theory, it can happen. Reality, maybe not so much. But it can. Sports is the ultimate equalizer. But don't tell me that you told me out of respect. No, you didn't. You just say, hey, I had to do what I had to do. I'd rather you say, listen, man, I know this is a big issue. Ideally, I'd like to see if you two could coexist and be great teammates. We have a great opportunity here. But I'm going to tell you, this is a young lady from Russia that we're recruiting that could be an asset on our team alongside you, with you.
Yeah.
Skill-wise. Not saying you guys have to be best friends. I play with guys we're not best friends. If you did that, don't tell me you're doing it out of respect to my family.
No. Corey, you missed the sarcasm font. I understand that wars are bigger than basketball.
Yeah.
I was being flippant.
Yeah. Kim Mulkey doesn't think so.
Clearly. Oh, Kim. Let's go to break. We'll have hour 3 of Old School brought to you by Graham Tire right after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers. And someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money. And most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where Maintain X comes in. Maintain X catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on Maintain X have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and save thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try Maintain X free at maintainx.com.
Let me share something to make life just a little easier. It's just one word, Bryant. If we need service on our furnace or AC, we call Bryant. Same thing goes for an electrical issue. If I have a problem with my faucet, a toilet, a drain, or a water heater, I don't need to know how to fix something. I just need to know who to call. And at our house, it's Bryant.
Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Just one call. 467-1111. Remember, we do whatever it takes.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Coppel Chevrolet GMC, and new Sierra and Silverado trucks continue to roll in, and August is a great time to upgrade. Right now, get new GMC Sierras for under $50,000, or get 2.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. Visit us in Louisville or anytime at coppelcars.com. Stock number G306367 with approved credit.
The Friends with Paul Davis Restoration here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Paul Davis Restoration here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
Sports remind us what's possible when we believe in each other. When teamwork and trust matter just as much as talent. On and off the field or court, we're stronger when we work together. That's why at UBT, your money has people who have your back. From financial coaching and goal setting to home loans and business support. Success happens when you've got the right team, and you'll find yours at UBT. Union Bank and Trust, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score. Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black Shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in hour 3 of Old School, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We'll go ahead and take some of your texts before we dive into plenty going on in the world of golf. I'm Austin Norman. He is Jay Foreman. Thanks to everyone who's listening and texting in to the show. Brought to you, as always, by Graham Tire Company. They've got their Lincoln locations. They've got locations all over the Midwest. They do more than just tires, cars, light truck repairs, brakes, oil changes, everything in between. Trust Graham Tire because they get you to the places that matter most. From our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line, a few things to get to here. Bill and Bennett wants to know, Jay, will this show be doing a pick'em segment for the weekend college football games moving forward? Somebody needs to prove they're better than Terrell. Are we getting back into pick'em this year? Is that a thing we need to do?
Oh, yeah, and we're always better than Farley.
All right.
I hear him in Bach. It is funny, though. Him and Bach, they do it, so we got to do it even better.
All right, so back by popular request, we will do college football pick'em this year. We'll let you know when and where that segment will take place. We get this from Lane. Jay, I never hear Iowa talk about the NFL. Players and coaches, yet they have 16 dudes in the draft the last 3 years, and yet Nebraska wants to use as a sales pitch to players and put 3 in the draft in the last 3 seasons. I don't know what Iowa is saying or not saying to recruits. But we do know they have a good draft pedigree. And so it's on Nebraska. It's on the players to get themselves into the NFL draft. When you think through that question specifically, how does Nebraska get more players to the NFL draft? I mean, I know you've always said, winning, right? Have that associated with your name. When we talk about development, how much of a player's just generic player X that has NFL dreams, legitimately wants to get there, is willing to work for it? What percentage of their development and how far they progress will be due to them versus the coaches and the staff that poured into them?
70-80% on the player. Now you got to have the right circumstances, and they got to give you a chance to show your stuff. But when you get that one opportunity, again, you got to make it an opportunity of a lifetime. So I mean, it goes hand in hand. But I think making yourself into a good player or a great player is a lot on the player, on you. You got to work extra hours. You got to make a tremendous amount of sacrifice. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. But if you love it and it's something that you really want to do, there's only one way to do it. And it's hard and it's tough. And if you try to do it any other way, it's not going to work. You're destined for failure. It never will change. Football's a sport. Kumbaya is not going to work. It just never works. It just
turned into kumbaya. You're out of the league.
It just doesn't jive with the type of the game. It never would coexist. And so for the players that want to get to that point, you have to do more than what's asked. And you're not going to have the typical. I think a lot of these players come in, around the country, and obviously sometimes here, is that you come in here, you get all this stuff, and they work hard during the day, and then they think they want to have a regular college experience. No, they can't, and you have to get that out of your system.
Mm-hmm.
You have plenty of fun, but the fun comes from winning. Now you do have an off season, you do get a lot more off days than we got, but you have to maximize not only your off days, but your on days as well.
Would it be fair to frame it in this way? The onus for the program is to put the players in the best opportunity to succeed, right? Provide them with as many developmental opportunities for them to take advantage of.
Yeah. I mean, you want to give them more chances than not to do so. I mean, that's part of it. That's part of how you get there. A lot of the guys that are going to get drafted or play well in the NFL take advantage of their opportunities. Doesn't matter if it's on and off the field. So you got to make sure that you're providing those and really making sure that they're understanding the magnitude of the opportunities that they're given. And
like you said, on and off the field, right? It's snaps, it's plays, but it's also weight room. It's also conditioning. It's also training table,
it's also sacrificing. It's also, mental training. It's also willing to deal with adversity. It's also having a clear picture of the type of player that you are and the type of player that you want to be or could be. And is this situation right for that to happen, both short term and long term?
Mm-hmm.
Also being aware of your surroundings, meaning has the landscape of the team changed? If a coach gets on a hot seat, the developmental stage is over for a lot of those young guys because they are in a win now and they got to really have their blinders on trying to extend their career at said school. None of that started. It mentioned hanging out on O Street, house parties, a ton of vacations, a ton of off time. I mean, I'm sorry, man. That's just the way it is. And, you don't want to be sitting around at 24, 25, 26 wishing I listened to somebody.
Mm.
Or I wish I would have really took it more serious. You don't want that type of conversation. You don't want to be one of those guys that had a lot of talent, but you just never really sacrificed. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with that. You can go on and live your life however you want. But if you're telling me that you want to go to the pros, I'm just telling you how it's going to be. It's going to be hard and it's going to be tough. And then it's going to be even harder once you get there because then it's not only just getting there, it's also staying and sticking and thriving.
Talking about staying, sticking, and thriving, let's move this up to the NFL level then. Is it the same 70-80% of improvement, development, whatever you want to call it, at the NFL level, driven by the players?
Yeah,
still?
I mean, it's even more because in the NFL, they're just giving you a playbook. They expect you to be able to execute it.
Mm.
So you're not getting a lot of development. Now, they do develop players. They do. And there's no doubt about it. But they don't develop it. You're paid professional. This is your job. Your job is to be the best that you can be because if not, we'll find somebody else or we'll cut you. So now, your draft status and your contract sometimes can give you a little bit more longevity, but sooner or later the crosshairs are going to be on you. So it's even more onus on the player to go out and make themselves a better player. And you see guys with nutritionists that pretty much do all their meal planning. You see them, they go off to they got pass rush summits, they have quarterback summits, they got tight end summits and all that. Those are the things you have to do in order to not only make it or be in the league, but to make it and then obviously be a really good player.
We'll hit our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line as more thoughts on this come in. I do want to talk some golf, though. Yeah, I know we've been having this on the back burner for a while, but there's some news from the PGA today. Before we get to the PGA and its new championship format with some match play coming, we'll do that next segment. Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy, arguably the two top players on tour right now. Different opinions on live golfers returning to the PGA Tour. This was about a week ago. ESPN put this article out. Rory McIlroy's quote was, I would argue, have they brought value to live? I think the PGA Tour's in a really good spot. I feel like I've kept my position consistent that live has never been a good thing for the game. Whatever 2.0 looks like, if it even happens, they're saying they're trying to be more collaborative and all that. But the PGA is the best platform for the top professional golfers in the world. I don't take any personal satisfaction in people losing jobs. That doesn't seem right. I've always felt like this is the best place to play pro golf. I'm pretty sure if the PGA Tour was handed $6 billion, it would have done a better job with it. The flip side, Scotty Scheffler, they didn't get as many quotes. They said that would provide a lot of value to the tour and guys I love competing against as well. I think going forward, there obviously has to be some sort of penalty. What those are, I'll let those guys figure it out. We have great leadership within the tour now. Two different perspectives from the two top players in golf. Not really a rivalry, just two different perspectives on maybe the issue facing golf right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both quotes are right. I mean, I think Rory, I think every other time that he says something, he says the wrong thing. So that's where I think he, actually was right. Now, it made some people that live a little bit upset. Lee Westwood was upset. But realistically, what he's saying is their idea of putting the PGA Tour out of business and bringing over those guys that they were going to show a new brand of golf and take over golf, and they took those players, really didn't work out for them. I mean, Brooks Koepka is one of the top players that went over there. Patrick Reed is below Brooks Koepka, but he's coming back.
Dustin
Johnson is over there, has really just nobody even knows he exists, right? But Brooks Koepka is back. Patrick Reed is back. Looks like John Rahm is back.
Coming. Yep.
And what's the other guy on this team, on John Rahm's team? He's coming back as well. He's from England. He's coming back. So
is that a Hatton?
Yeah, Tyrell Hatton. This is what they're saying. Those guys are coming back. So when you look at it, all the good, viable players, the only one left is Bryson. And realistically, it sounds like the PGA Tour will take you as a player, but you're not coming here to run your YouTube channel through the PGA Tour. So what Rory is saying, it is a point. He could argue that those guys didn't deliver on what it was supposed to be. Now they all got paid handsomely, but we're talking, they haven't done anything to take away from the PGA Tour. It's actually really made those players lose a lot of their legacy points, as far as credibility and all that, and crucial years off their golf life in a competitive nature. Then you have Scotty Scheffler. He wants the really good players back because ultimately he knows it's better for the tour. You get all the really good players back, it actually could save him a tournament or two from playing because he doesn't have to overextend himself for the betterment of the tour. The problem is Bryson DeChambeau. I mean, he was not going to play in the last major because he had a penalty.
Yeah.
And his issue and all the other stuff with his YouTube channel and content creator versus being a professional golfer, I think is blurred his decision making. So Scotty's obviously, always going to toe the company in line. Rory's just going to speak off the cuff, and sometimes he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'm going to start with Scotty here because I tend to agree more with his perspective because I don't necessarily blame the players, right? I go back to what you said about the NIL stuff. If they're dumb enough to pay you, be smart enough to take it. I don't think the players were trying to stage a coup necessarily, right? I think bringing them back into the fold is hey, this is going to show you how much you lost by not being here. And I think if the PGA leadership was going to try to fold in some breakaways from Live Golf in the front office and management back in there, that would be like, the prince trying to take out the king, then saying, okay, that's fine. I forgive you. You're still prince. No, just kidding. You got to go back down. But the players, I think it's a different story for the most part.
Yeah, when they come back, Brooks Koepka talks about it. It's a humbling experience coming back, and that's rightfully so. John Rahm has to go through it. If you got to go over to the DP World Tour, which is European Tour, and figure it out over there to get back in, so be it. But the PGA Tour was able to adjust, withstand, and then obviously they're able to hold them accountable. So a lot of these guys, like a Thomas Peters and all those guys, Ian Poulter, Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood, Thomas Peters can come back.
Yeah.
Right? Cameron Smith can come back, like skill-wise. I think they've gotten the money and become so comfortable, they don't want to go through the grinder to come back and pay the fines. So really, what Scotty's saying is right, where it's a betterment for the game, but you want to make sure that those guys are coming back and adding to the game because you don't want that story to take away from any of the good players that are at said tournaments or said situations, and those guys aren't up to snuff. And so look, these next 2 or 3 months are going to be crucial for Liv. It's also going to be, I wouldn't say a downtime for the PGA Tour, but you can sit back and chill because as of right now, Liv said they had a big investor. Doesn't seem like everybody was believing. I think it's Scott O'Neill in that meeting.
Mhm.
Everybody was hearing you. They weren't listening. They didn't see anything that they can really listen to and be like, all right, I believe it.
No one sat up in their chair and
The
freaked
guys
out.
that are stuck are going to stay there.
Mhm.
And so we're going to see, what happens here in the next few months.
The most interesting part about that to me for the guys that are getting folded back into the tour will be the competitive aspect of it. Seems like a bet from Scotty Scheffler as well that these guys can get their competitive juices back, that they'll be willing to embrace that grind again. And we've seen guys, take their sabbaticals and come back refreshed and ready to go. And I'm not saying that there was no competition on Liv, but that was kind of the point, right? Is that everyone got some prize money. There wasn't really a cut line or not a serious one all the time. And so I wonder, Jay, for those guys that left and came back, like you said with Cam Smith, he can, but will he want to? For the guys that do come back, at what point do they rediscover that competitive stamina, what it takes to win a, 4-day tournament up to PGA standards, and how many of them say, you know what? I lost it. It's gone. I'm glad I got the money when I did.
Yeah, I mean, it's a harsh reality of some of those guys are facing when they go into the majors. They'll play good for a round or two, and really a lot of those guys were able to make hay the first couple of years, that their first year or so after Liv, because their skills were still sharp. But then once you had the long layoffs, the lack of a competitor environment, and the younger guys and the older guys that are on the PGA Tour continue to progress, when you come back and you get in that arena in a true high energy, high pressure situation, and you start to see, okay, I have some holes in my game that weren't plugged, and it's hard to get it back because you become comfortable because of that lifestyle, right? And if you go back to when Liv first started, when they were going over to these tournaments, they were flying those big jets. It was a big party, the big upper decks. They were flying over. It was great. And then the next year they cut all that out, and then next thing you know, vendors weren't getting paid, and they weren't able to have rings this year for winning because the vendors weren't paid, setup people weren't paid, and I imagine some of their checks weren't paid as well. So then when you think about where they're at versus and then also the pressure of your skills starting to deteriorate. Now, granted, they're still top 1% of the golfers in the world, but when you're talking about that other 1,000 or whatever people playing on the PGA Tour, hundreds that are in that 1%, that's, a knife is a little bit sharper. It's a harsh reality for some of those guys. But, John Rahm would be only 31 years old. Bryson's still young. Those guys could come over and still make it happen. But the guys that had to take the money and should have went and taken the money, probably are going to have to go and try to play a European tour or Asia tour type of schedule, which is going to overextend them financially as far as travel. Because I will say this, I thought Liv was stupid anyways. I get why they were doing it. You knew it wasn't going to last long. But I tell you what, broke neck and all, year 8 and 9, and some league, whatever you want to call it, wants to pay me like 5 times more than I ever made, I'm going to be out there. I'll worry about everything else. So those guys had to, that section of group, which is a high majority of the guys on Liv, they had to get that money. I think there's a guy, Taylor Gooch, that maybe won $8.6 million while he was on the PGA Tour, and he's below average, and that's being nice. I think he made close to like 80 to 100 million.
The 8.6 was probably a signing bonus with Liv.
Yeah, so I mean, these guys are making a ton of money. I mean, heck, Liv still owes like John Rahm 150 million. Tried to buy out his contract for peanuts on a dollar. So luckily, those guys have made that money in their first 3 years.
You mentioned Brooks Koepka. There's more in that ESPN article. Won 5 majors in his career. There's a player return program, essentially. Koepka agreed to forfeit any player equity shares for the next 5 years. Not eligible for the $100 million FedEx Cup bonus program in 2026. And the tour also requested that he agreed to make a $5 million donation to charity, which he did. DeChambeau, Rahm, and Cam Smith were given the same offer and didn't take it. I want to get to this from Kansas Randy. He says, I can't stand Rory. Whatever he says, I don't care. He's an English bum. Rory has had his moments, positive and negative, but I think Rory on aggregate has been really good for the game of golf. And I understand you have your favorites and you like to listen to guys you don't, but I think Rory, for all his missteps, has generally been a good leader, a good spokesman out in front in a very visible way for the PGA Tour.
I think he was at the beginning. I think he got led astray by the PGA Tour, threw him out there, and then he finally realized, like, all right, I was like the sacrificial lamb. And then that's where you see him coming back. And then, he had some personal stuff going on.
Yeah.
And then he just started popping off. And, I think for the most part, he's done good, but also I think he's pompous in some of the things he says.
Oh, for sure.
Not rightfully so. Maybe that's something that he's trying to embark on and be more confident and all that type of stuff. But then I think he's just one of those guys at the point that he's like, F it, I'm just going to say whatever I got on my mind because I tried to toe the company line for the PGA Tour and got burned big time.
Yeah.
And so I understand why he's a little bit more adversarial, maybe, but ultimately, top to bottom, he's done, better for the PGA Tour in the game of golf. I just think that also what Rory doesn't recognize is that not only do you pop off, but then also you've shown the ability not to be invested in golf and your, I guess, obligation. This is throughout his whole career. Whereas, he'll play well and then just go through lulls of just not playing well in years. And so I think it's more just recent. And he comes off as arrogant but you know what? He's one of the best in the world. And sometimes you got to act like that, or you get entitled to do something or act that way sometimes.
That is completely true. Scott and Lincoln, we'll get to your text on this and a little bit more from the PGA. Greg in Michigan, we see your text as well. Keep them coming. Starter Heyman Jewelers text line over the final half an hour of the show. We're back to talk to you more for 30 more minutes on Old School after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Do you ever feel okay in your current job and profession, but wonder if there's a better company that can offer more? Vision Mechanical is now hiring for journeyman plumbers and HVAC service technicians. Vision Mechanical offers top-of-the-industry wages, 100% paid health, disability, and life insurance, 401k with employee match, and paid holidays and vacation. Vision Mechanical believes in craftsmanship, teamwork, and building a better future, one project at a time. Apply today or learn more at visionmechanical.net or email Ron at vmech.net.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and new Sierra and Silverado trucks continue to roll in, and August is a great time to upgrade. Right now, get new GMC Sierras for under $50,000. Or get 2.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. Visit us in Louisville or anytime at koppelcars.com. Stock number G306367 with approved credit.
Remember your first Salt Dogs game? Maybe it was a class trip out on the berm, or date night with actual fireworks, or team building that didn't feel like work at all. For 25 seasons, Haymarket Park remains Lincoln's place for firsts like these, the kind that last. Because it's more than a baseball game. It's the joy of being here together. These are the traditions that bring us home. So here's to you, Lincoln. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
If the power is out, traffic lights may be too. If you come across a dark intersection, treat it like a four-way stop. Find more outage safety tips at les.com/safety.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is your High School Minute.
Hey everyone, this is Connor Crummy with your Southeast Community College High School Minute. High school football was back in action on Friday night with Lincoln Standing Bear notching their first ever Class A football win in school history by defeating Lincoln Northwest 42-6 behind running back DeAndre Hill's 147-yard, 3-touchdown outing. Headlining the slate this week in Class A, on Thursday it's East versus Northeast, Lincoln Northwest versus Omaha Northwest, and North Star on the road taking on Norfolk. On Friday, Lincoln High will head up to Omaha South, Lincoln Southeast will host Millard West, and Lincoln Southwest and Standing Bear will duke it out as well. In Class B, the headliner is Norris hosting state runner-up Gretna East. And in Class C1, we have a major rivalry on tap as well on Friday, with Lincoln Lutheran and Lincoln Christian squaring off. In softball, Lincoln Southwest seems to pick up right where they left off after winning it all last season, starting off 5-1 to begin this year, with just one loss to Hastings on Friday. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs, quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside's margaritas and old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Ever look at your house and think, ouch, it's stuck in the past? Or realize that your kitchen needs a new everything? Like thousands of homeowners, you can simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish, no mess, done in a day, and cost-effective. It looks just like new, including your vinyl. And it's all backed by their 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call them now at 402-383-3336 or email ching@spray-net.com.
The Friends with Paul Davis Restoration here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Paul Davis Restoration here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final half an hour on Old School for the day. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to our friends at the Lincoln Children's Museum who bring back their game day play dates. This year, football Saturdays are back, and the Lincoln Children's Museum has a game plan for your youngest fans. Game day play dates give kids ages 5 to 12 their own unforgettable game day, all while you enjoy the action inside the stadium. Drop them off 90 minutes before kickoff, pick them up an hour after the game ends. New this year, purchase a season pass for a special rate. Book 4 sessions, receive your 5th free by using the discount code football. Space is limited. Advanced registration is required. Visit LincolnChildren'sMuseum.org to reserve your spot today. Big thanks to our friends at the Lincoln Children's Museum for bringing that back. I know it was a wild success last year. Heard nothing but good things about it, and game day playdates are indeed back. Jay, we have this from Scott in Lincoln as we talk some more golf. Scott says, I think more crossover events, more than just the Opens, would be good for live golf in the PGA. Agree or disagree?
Oh, it would have been, but that's not going to happen anymore. And I think it was obviously Greg Norman, the way he went about it. Phil Mickelson went about recruiting players while actively on the PGA Tour. So any chance of any coexistence is over now, and live seems like it's just a matter of time before it fully implodes. So, look, any great leader, any type of like league, when you have another league that's in competition, if you end up, coming out on top, you could probably look and see some of the things they did and maybe, kind of find some way to kind of incorporate it. Before all this started happening, they used to have the Shell Wide World of Golf, and that's when they would have essentially somewhat live, no music or anything like that, but it would be like Jack Nicklaus against Arnold Palmer, along with Ernie Els and Fred Couples, and they would go over to like, anywhere, Australia, South Africa, and play. Now they were getting paid, so essentially appearance fees, not to the magnitude of what they're getting paid now on live, but a pretty good clip. And so that's why, it's not new. Now, what Greg Norman wanted to do is pretty much take over and all types of stuff. So I don't think there'd be any coexistence, unfortunately.
Well, and at this point, I mean, even before, what did it benefit the PGA to do crossover events for? It was still the biggest league with the most players, with the most cachet. Liv would have wanted those crossover events to make it seem like, oh yeah, nothing big's happening. We're still all playing in the same events. What's the big deal? Where it was existential for the PGA.
Yeah.
What was the motivation? What was the incentive for the PGA to do any of those events? Anyways, I'm not sure I see what that incentive would have been.
They almost did. I think it was that January, they almost had some sort of agreement, and then it imploded, and then it never was thought of. I think PGA Tour somehow maybe were tipped off that, look, this isn't going to last too much longer. And then they were able to say, you know what, why partner with them? Let's just make some concessions ourselves. And so the purses got bigger. They obviously have big announcements with match play and stuff like that, moving forward. So at least they're, it kind of maybe spurned the PGA Tour to do some things, obviously, especially with branding and the marketing to, lessen some of the restrictions for some of the players. And rightfully so. You should be able to, both individually and the PGA Tour, as same with the NFL, you should be able to use your own clips and not just only go to the PGA Tour. And same with the NFL. The NFL does a good job allowing the players to, and I think they help the players build their brand as well, because I think they see the benefit of it. And so hopefully it works out for the PGA Tour and the players as well.
What I would have liked to have seen between the PGA and Liv is golf Super Bowl. Take your two best players, pair them up, go maybe like Ryder Cup style, even, Liv versus PGA Ryder Cup could have been fun, but I think that ship has sailed. You mentioned match play, Jay. Here's the format for the PGA Tour Championship. Week 1, the championship begins with a 3-round group stage competition, 32 players, 8 groups of 4. Players will compete in match play against the other 3 players in their group. Top 2 players from each group advance to week 2. Then week 2, championship culminates in a 4-round match play competition. All 16 players competing in all 4 rounds. Players advance through the bracket based on their win-loss record, with the final 2 undefeated players battling to be crowned tour champion. Player records across all 4 rounds will determine the final championship standings. Your excitement level for this on the PGA Tour, was this overdue? Why now?
Well, I mean, I think it's, it was a big part of the PGA Tour that kind of went away. I like it. I like match play. It's a little bit different. I mean, you had, you see some upsets. You've seen some guys, make great career moves after that. I like it. It's a little bit different flavor. It maybe changed the mindset and perspective of some of the players. And, I think it's showing a way that they can, move forward. And look, I think all these guys growing up, in the amateurs, and we see even here in Nebraska amateurs and Nebraska match play, you see the U.S. amateur and all the match plays. And, you got to play stroke play. Then before you get into match play, they've all played match play and been successful at it. So it's something new to them. They don't get to play much match play unless you make the President's Cup or Ryder Cup. This way they get to play it. Then obviously it means something as well.
Do you think they seed it 1 through 4 at all, or just draw names out of a hat? Because you can't put your top 4 players in the same group.
No, I think they'll seed it, and I wonder if they have it almost like the NCAA have regions or whatever. Sure. This is the number 1 seed in this bracket. You could do the Hogan, Nicholas Palmer, and player
Woods.
Brackets. Woods bracket. You could do it all that, and this is number 1 seed there, and kind of go from there. The overall number 1 seed probably has a little bit easier path, but ultimately, if you're not striking your ball, you could be sent home.
I think this is going to be fun for golf, just in terms of building rivalries, right? Yeah. It's so hard to get these guys in contention sometimes on the same day, on Sunday at the Masters or the Open or whatever major you're talking about. You can't draw it up necessarily. Golf's still going to golf. It's an individual game. But I think, Jay, having this match play, an actual head-to-head competition, I think this is going to be a fun way to grow golf. We complain, all the time about the NBA's losing the rivalries. It's not about the teams because people are following their players. Well, here's the thing. For golf, it's always been about the players. And to find ways to get those competitive juices flowing between these guys, I think is going to be incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be, if you get the, Patrick Reed and Roy McIlroy somehow link up in the, the guys that have, win against each other in Ryder Cups, or guys that are, ascending player that can take down, a known player, some rivalry, not only notoriety, but some rivalries can come from that as well. So, look, I know, in this article, Keith Mitchell was initially against it. I know he's on some of the boards, but I think obviously, the big dog and the big cat got to push that through a little bit. And Keith Mitchell got he got big time right there.
I should have started with this. I read this in kind of a backwards order, but there's also the PGA Tour Championship, the event that goes on as well. And so it's going to be a 90-player field in that event. And the top 32 from that event are the ones that move on to the Tour Championship match play. So if you don't participate there in that PGA Tour Championship, you can't win the ultimate title.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, I think look, the one thing. Listen, if I'm a PGA Tour player, I'm pissed off at Phil Mickelson and Greg Norman and them. Now these guys, now it's more year long. They're gonna have to be really diligent about their schedule, so they're peaking for the majors. And obviously, you have a ton of the pot of gold at the end of the season, right? Tour Championship and match play. But they also have to play in like 15, 16 signature events on top of those as well. So. It's it's a little bit more taxing on them, in soft quotes. Now, when you're flying private and all this other stuff, I do not feel sorry for you at all, let alone you're getting to play golf. But the I guess the direct effect of the LIV and all that, where LIV hardly played at all, where now the PGA Tour players, because they've got an influx of money, their star players have to be, visible on TV and at these tournaments a lot more. So. So you better be ready to, strap it up, because, the Tour Championship and this match play, normally guys would skip it. I don't need to do it. I made enough money. Well, the type of money that you're getting for not only winning the Tour Championship and let alone the match play, it well worth it, a couple trips to the driving range.
That it is. All right, we'll go to break. A special guest from Tipsy Tina's in with us, rounding out the show. What they bring today, what's going on at the restaurant just a few blocks away from us. That's how we'll wrap up Old School with our lunchtime lineup.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils. Hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and new Sierra and Silverado trucks continue to roll in, and August is a great time to upgrade. Right now, get new GMC Sierras for under $50,000, or get 2.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. Visit us in Louisville or anytime at koppelcars.com. Stock number G306367 with approved credit.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Here's your updated 93.7 The Ticket forecast, sponsored by Bryant Air Conditioning, Electrical, Heating, and Plumbing. Slight chance for showers this afternoon, otherwise sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Daytime highs approaching 87. Southwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies. Tonight, slight chance of thunderstorms. Lows level off around 67. That's your updated forecast on Lincoln's home for the Kansas City Royals. 93.7 The Ticket. I'm meteorologist Kara Foster. Currently, it's 74 degrees.
Ever look at your house and think, ouch, it's stuck in the past? Or realize that your kitchen needs a new everything? Like thousands of homeowners, you can simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish. No mess, done in a day, and cost-effective. It looks just like new, including your vinyl. And it's all backed by their 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call them now at 402-383-3336 or email ching@spray-net.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Meet your new obsession, the Amigos Crunchadilla. Not a burrito, not a quesadilla. The Crunchadilla is a salsa tortilla filled with a unique blend of quesadilla flavors, then crisped to perfection for a crunch you'll crave. Loaded with melty cheese, crispy tortilla strips, and of course, Amigos' famous ranch. Get your choice of 4 boldly flavored meats, like Southwest chicken or chorizo, all topped with bacon. Crispy, craveable, and made to crush your hunger. The Crunchadilla, only at Amigos. Amigos value meals are getting an upgrade with more of the bold, fresh flavors you love. Now we have 9 options for only $5, $6, or $7. With fries and a small drink, these are full meals for a small price. There's something for everyone with the new Chicken Ranchero Burrito or Quesadilla Snackers. Even Amigos favorites like the soft meat burrito or crisp pinto are now in value meals. With a deal this good, we'll be seeing you all the time at Amigos.
If the power is out, traffic lights may be too. If you come across a dark intersection, treat it like a 4-way stop. Find more outage safety tips at les.com/safety.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Last segment of Old School for the day. It is our lunchtime lineup being brought to you today by the good folks over at Tipsy Tina's, where we are joined by the man in charge. We got Nate Stewart from Tipsy Tina's. Nate, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Or better now, the Tipsy Tina's is in the building.
Hey, I brought you guys some buffalo chicken tacos today.
Did Jake request those? I know those are his favorite.
Think so. I think that's probably his favorite. Sour shrimp is his favorite.
Jake likes to order for everybody, but everybody, starts with the name starts with J and ends with E.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been times where Terrell has put some requests in, and I still have to bring some shrimp in for Jake to make sure he's happy,
Well, we appreciate that about you and everything you do for us here at the station. Heck of a weekend. Big concert in town. How was that?
It was great. It was nice to see everyone out and about, kind of almost getting ready for football season. We were pretty much a whole Haymarket. I know downtown was completely full at the concert, so that was great.
You said about 45K at the concert
I
itself?
think they finished like 45,000 tickets sold. So it was kind of like a pre-warm up to football next week. So we get a weekend off and kind of get all geared up and get ready for football to kick off and go from there. So,
when football season starts, obviously people just really look at what's going on in the stadium, but what it brings to, obviously downtown, for you, I know for me, when football seasons start to come around, you start to feel a little bit. Is that how you start to get ramped up, knowing, all right, this is going to be, next 3.5, 4 months is going to be pretty busy?
yeah, it's especially the first month of the football season where it seems like we always have about 3 home football games in a row. So if we can just always get through September, then, they're scattered out a little bit. So, yeah, it's just getting ready for it. It just kind of seems like every year the summer just flies by and boom, next thing you know, it's football season. And it's like, wow, here we go. So I don't know. We've had really good, last year with all the sports for a year now between, the basketball, men's and girls, the baseball and softball, kind of didn't seem like it slowed off after football. Like normally it kind of slows off and chills, but not just last year. It was just nonstop. So it's been great.
Funny how even if you're not, rooting for Husker programs, you're rooting for Husker programs because you guys are right in the heart of everything. You can't miss you guys there on the corner. More Success Basketball has More Success Football. I mean, you guys are 5-minute walk from the stadium, 2 minutes from PBA.
It's not very much. Probably me at the most 10, depending on how busy it is.
How full you are after leaving Tipsy Tina's.
Yeah. And, especially like with the baseball and softball, this is like one of the first years where we got to see a lot of the crowd coming from that because of how much their attendance and stuff were and how well they were playing. So, because like I said, it's only a 5-10 minute walk from there too. So,
what's new? I know you have a great menu. Listen, my favorite thing is your breakfast, chorizo breakfast taco. I think I always say they're like Lay's potato chips. I might have a couple, then I end up eating 4. And anything new on the menu? Anything on the menu? Drink menu? Anything?
Not at the moment. Every week we run a daily or a weekly taco week. So every week we let the cooks kind of come up with their own ideas of what they want to do. We had a chicken bacon range last week. I know this morning they're kind of fooling around with another one. So every week we try to have a different one of those. Also just bringing in some more new beers, of course. We're going to have some fall margaritas and seasonal drinks coming up once it cools down a little bit. I know we're going to be bringing in some things like a pumpkin beer, doing some different twists on some things. We will be bringing back our Oreo churros.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're really good. They're very popular. We took them off our menu this summer and tried something different, but we're going to be bringing it back this fall. And we've had great responses with those. So
back by popular demand.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got to ask, what's your favorite taco one of your chefs has concocted for Taco of the Week?
It's probably honestly one of mine that I made.
Of course. Okay. Yeah, you're a genius too.
I made, we did a hot Cheeto taco, or flaming Cheeto taco, which other places have done before. But what we did was pretty much grab bags of Cheetos, flaming hot Cheetos, crunch them up, cook off the chicken, and then let them marinate, mix it all up, throw it on a taco. It doesn't sit well in their stomach after eating 2 or 3 of them, but they're tasty. You can't stop eating them. So
you call that the Weight Watch.
Yeah. You can lose some weight.
You want to lose a couple pounds, man. Here you go. You two tacos. You lose this much and then keep going.
Yep, pretty much.
And of course, if Tipsy Tina's is full just a couple blocks away, McKinney's, what's going on over there?
We're just gearing up for a couple things. Of course, EPL just kicked off last week, so we've been opening up earlier for EPL games. We're a big Liverpool bar, but we also show all the other soccer games, Chelsea, Newcastle, all of that.
How did you come by you guys Liverpool fans, or you have just a bunch of Liverpool fans that came in and turned it into?
Yeah,
they just took over.
Yeah, they took over. That's pretty much what happened. We had a couple of guys that came in, a couple of regulars started following, and then we started like a fan chapter there, and then it's kind of grown from there. World Cup was amazing this summer. It was nice to see us play, a little bit better.
Well, yeah.
We're actually make it and then win. So World Cup was really good for us. Then we have a couple things coming up. We're going to do a halfway to St. Patrick's Day party in October. So we're going to shut off a portion of the street and do some live music. We'll have more about that on our Facebook here next week or two. And then we have our charity golf tournament where we are teamed up with Gate 25, Salt Mine City, and Tipsy Tina's on October 25th at Highlands Golf Course. And the benefits go to Clinic with the Heart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we normally had it this summer. We had to reschedule it because of the Maroney concert. I was kind of scheduling mess up on my side. I kind of forgot about that. So yeah, we moved it to October, which was a lot better because the day we would have had it was like 100 degrees, and no one likes golfing when it's 100 degrees.
Well, Jake Sorensen will still go out there anyways. He's always looking for an
Jake go out
excuse.
there.
Yeah, I don't know how some of those guys do it. It's just miserable, and then especially when you golf miserable, it's just double whammy.
Wait, what do you expect to be your biggest night? Do you think it's going to be Halloween night for Washington? Do you think it's going to be the Ella Langley concert? Or do you think we just saw it there with the concert?
I don't know. It just kind of depends on how we're playing. The whole Ella thing, the followers is just amazing. They're coming from everywhere. It does kind of stink for staff because we're going to be so crazy Friday and Saturday. I think it's going to be it's going to be cool to play Washington. I kind of grew up, like my family, my mother's from Seattle. So my dad and my mom kind of butted heads in the early 90s when Washington was really
Washington
good. And they
was
played
really
the
good.
Huskers in
Yeah.
a 2-game series. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to watching that. And that's one stadium I wish I've gone out to.
It's beautiful.
I've had numerous friends go out there and take pictures and show me, and it's just like such a cool atmosphere.
Jay's got some good memories from that place too.
Yeah, we went up there, had a good time in Washington. But I always say that when we used to play Seattle, I used to love going to Washington. Long flight, but
yeah,
it's a great city.
Oh
Great
yeah, I've been
stadium,
up
too.
there. Yeah, we used to go out there like every other summer, and it's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
My aunts live outside of Tacoma, so it was like a 40-minute drive to Seattle. I went to Mariners games growing up, so
Yeah, good sports town too.
It is.
Yeah, great fish market too.
Great place to watch the game, Tipsy Tina's.
Yeah.
Down there in the Haymarket. McKinney's as well if you're an EPL fan. So check them out in the Haymarket. Thank you as always for providing lunch for us on Tuesdays. Got some buffalo chicken to get into
You
today.
guys request what you want next week, and I'll bring it for you.
Yeah, we got-
We'll
we got
Big Memphis tacos. Big Memphis tacos. Yeah.
Memphis tacos. All right, we'll be on.
There we go.
That's Nate Stewart from Tipsy Tina's. Thanks to them for everything they do for us here. Providing lunch on Tuesdays at the Ticket. If you're downtown in the Haymarket, before or after any Husker event, make sure you check them out. That'll do it for us today. We'll be back with you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Come back with us for Old School.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is your High School Minute.
Hey everyone, this is Connor Crumey with your Southeast Community College High School Minute. High school football was back in action on Friday night with Lincoln Standing Bear notching their first ever Class A football win in school history by defeating Lincoln Northwest 42-6 behind running back DeAndre Hill's 147-yard, 3-touchdown outing. Headlining the slate this week in Class A, on Thursday it's East versus Northeast, Lincoln Northwest versus Omaha Northwest, and North Star on the road taking on Norfolk. On Friday, Lincoln High will head up to Omaha South, Lincoln Southeast will host Millard West, and Lincoln Southwest and Standing Bear will duke it out as well. In Class B, the headliner is Norris hosting state runner-up Gretna East. And in Class C1, we have a major rivalry on tap as well on Friday, with Lincoln Lutheran and Lincoln Christian squaring off. In softball, Lincoln Southwest seems to pick up right where they left off after winning it all last season, starting off 5-1 to begin this year, with just one loss to Hastings on Friday. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Remember your first Salt Dogs game? Maybe it was a class trip out on the berm, or date night with actual fireworks, or team building that didn't feel like work at all. For 25 seasons, Haymarket Park remains Lincoln's place for firsts like these, the kind that last. Because it's more than a baseball game. It's the joy of being here together. These are the traditions that bring us home. So here's to you, Lincoln. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever look at your house and think, ouch, it's stuck in the past? Or realize that your kitchen needs a new everything? Like thousands of homeowners, you can simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish. No mess, done in a day, and cost-effective. It looks just like new, including your vinyl. And it's all backed by their 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call them now at 402-383-3336 or email ching@spray-net.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they